Hey, howdy, hi. I am returned to Fate Samurai Remnant. I love this game. I like the Fate series as a whole. We get a little recap of the prologue chapter. Yeah, had the shit kicked out of him. But it's okay, we got Weber to help, and the last survivor of the Christian rebellion as an enemy. That's a good normal thing to have happen. And there's, of course, Miyamoto Musashi, but a sexy anime woman. You'll find a good deal of Fate characters are very similar to that. He's been summoned as a berserker here. To be fair, if you were following Grand Order at this point, you would have known she could do that. Because she would have done it already. So yeah, seems Iori and Musashi recognized each other, kind of. And, the fight just kind of stopped. This must be quite weird for Iori, because his master was definitely a guy. Yeah, like, I'm actually more worried what you're doing here, considering you're both dead and not a woman last I checked. Yeah, how are you alive? Why are you a young woman? You could not possibly be a different person. Yeah, apparently Musashi is just kinda like this. Yeah, so, for those curious, this Miyamoto Musashi technically isn't the real one. He's from a dead timeline, and she hops through timelines because of, well, humanity's will to not go extinct needed someone who could fight literal infinity, and this is the only person it could come up with, so kinda just plucked one of the Miyamoto Musashis out of time and sent them where they needed to go. Yeah, the counterforce is weird like that. Apparently the Iori she knows is basically the same as this one. Yeah. Yeah. This lady's got 2 servants under her command. Vaguely.
では、これなる師匠はやはり過去の人物か。
そうとも。私たちはもうとっくに死んでいる。
答え合わせだな、これは。
Yeah. You gotta be dead or not born yet to be a servant. And this Musashi technically died for a little while? There's a short period of time where Miyamoto Musashi, this version, was dead and not a servant summoned somewhere else. Somewhere else? Eh.
見るもの聞くものすべて真新しいとばかりの振る舞いはすべて初めて目にしたから 何十何百年の眠りから目覚めてここにいる。
いい雰囲気のとこ悪いけどね。昔々の言い伝えやら師書やらで己をこの世に刻んだ偉い人たち、その影奉仕。
More or less, yeah.
ことごとく人知を超えた
There's a few of them who
魔にして
represent
容なるもの。
conceptual
それが
heroes.
英霊ってものだそうだよ。
Like, there's a nursery rhyme who is the conglomeration of children's stories. But most of them are people from history or myth.
ならば師匠、あなたも。
私の場合は特殊でね。
I work a little different.
宮本武蔵が女だった世界からやってきて、この世界の人理に刻まれちゃったってわけ。
なるほど。つまり師匠は師匠であって師匠でなく女であるとおっしゃる。
Close enough.
そうそう、そういうこと。飲み込み早いとこも同じなんだね、いおりくん。どこのいおりくんもそうなのかしら。
どこのいおりくん？いや、おっしゃる意味がさっ
You've
ぱりわかり
confused
ま
the
せん。
poor boy. He knows nothing of multiverse shenanigans.
セイバーはわかるか？
What the fuck she's talking
微
about?
塵もわからないな。
Probably even less than you do.
まあ、やったことはおおむね同じみたいだから。つまり、
おおむね同一人物だがやや別人。
それ。ほんと相手の言いたいことをスッと組んでくれちゃうね、君は。
Yeah, Iori's smart like that.
でも気をつけなさい。
Weirdly emotionally intelligent.
こう見えていろんな世界、いろんな時代に飛んでいるからね、私。いおりくんの知っている武蔵とは比べない方が身のためよ。
Yeah, this Musashi has fought genuine gods before.
何番かぶれもしているし、にししし。
そのようですね。いえ、私を養子に取った頃の師匠とは随分違う。なんというか、昔語りにのみ聞いていた
Yeah.
好き放題の無頼感失礼、自由奔放だった頃の師匠のようだ。
Hey, back when he was a more, not so tied down.
何？やっぱり男武蔵って長生きする分一発の文化人になっちゃうの？信じられない。
はいはい、そこまで。話を戻すよ。吉原に攻め込んできたマスターがひとまずお互い様子見で手を打ちたいとのたまった。まあ顔見知りと気づいたってことならそりゃ無理はないけどね。
Yeah.
わざわざ攻め込んできといてそれってのはあんまり都合が良すぎやしないかい？
The fight?
詫びが欲しいと太夫は言っているんだ。
詫びか。そうか。
そうさね。せめて面白い話でも聞かせておくれよ。
You see gossip.
由小説
Yeah,
ね
I'd tell you about one of the other masters that we saw.
正体明かすんだ。ずいぶん真面目なお侍さんもいたもんだ。それであんたは名乗り返さなかったのかい？
ん？
ほら刀履いてるし侍仲間に見えなくもないなって。
侍？そう見えるのか。
I mean,
そうか。
definitely be weird for a samurai to carry around an old bronze sword like that. A long sword, in fact, rather than a katana.
でどうなんだい？
さて、どうだろうな。
ちえ、うっかり口滑らしてくれるかと思ったのに可愛い顔してしっかりしてるんだ。
I'm not gonna figure out Zaber's identity that easy.
もう武蔵ちゃんだって正体明かしてるのにさ。
私はほら、なんたって弟子で養子のいおりくんが相手ならバレても仕方なし。そっちが言わないのを不公平だなんて言わないわ。正体明かすと負けやすいって話だし。
Yeah,
そもそも君、
knowing one's
マスター
name
相
is
手にも教
not
えて
great in
な
the
いん
long
でしょ
run.
神名。
そうなの？へえ、驚いた。マスターとサーバントってのはいわば一心同体でしょうに。
You'd think. The vast majority of masters don't think that, and a good chunk of the servants don't either.
サーバントあってのマスター、マスターあってのサーバントさね。サーバントがいなきゃマスターは戦えやしない。マスターがいなきゃサーバントはとどまれない。
Gonna be cases where both of those are blatantly false, but we can continue.
またとどまれないとは？
そりゃあねえ、マスターが死ねばうつしおにとどまれないだろうさ。マスターは英霊が世にとどまるための要石みたいなものなんだから。
なるほど。
Yeah, so the plan of Iori can die and you'll be fine. Not looking out so good anymore, huh, Thaber?
セイバーくん、顔色悪くない？
Yeah.
つい宣告までの自分の振る舞いを思い
Probably
返している
rethinking
んでしょ
their
う。
entire life. Or unlife?
どうも私のことは戦いの最中に死んでも構わない。死ねばその時、それはそれぐらいに考えていたようですから。なんだ？
いや、
Yeah. No
マス
regrets.
ターとサーバントか。
そもそも何も知らされてないお侍様がおかしいはずなんだけど、怖いサーバントを引いちまったんだね。ほんと可愛い顔のサーバントなのに本性はずいぶん物騒だ。その分じゃろくに義のことも知ら。
Oh,
お侍様、あんたの霊樹一角減ってないかい？
yes, we're missing a lot of
霊
details.
樹。
まさかそれも知らないのかい？
知らぬ。
I don't.
あ、言っていなかったな。
No, you did not, you shit.
なんだろこの二人、見てて真の像に悪いよ。
可愛いでしょ、可愛いでしょ。
Yeah.
うちのいおりくんは昔からそうなのです。
Ignorant? Is that something you want to praise?
セイバーくんもよく似て可愛いったら。でもな、もうちょっとだけ若かったらな。
Yeah, this Musashi. You can figure out what I was gonna say. I'm
似
not
てい
saying
ないと
it.
思うぞ。
指摘するのはそこなのか、セイバ
I don't think we look alike. That's the part you're objecting to?
この味わい。ねえ、うどんが欲しくなるわ。
気が緩むったらもう。まあいいわ。とことん姉さんが教えてあげる。敵同士とはいえ、武蔵ちゃんのお弟子だものね。
お手数かけます。
ほんとよ、もう。
Yeah.
まず霊樹よね。霊樹っていうのはこの文様のことさ。意味としては義に参加したマスターの証。
She gets little floral designs for hers.
サーバントとの
Every
つなが
player
り、
gets
契約を
very
示す
similar
ものでも
designs for
あ
their
るって
command
話
seal
だね。
marks. Always this almost like a five-sided, like pentagon kind of deal. It's always weird, but it's always very similar between main characters.
この霊樹はね、いろんなことができる。オノがサーバントの魔力をどんと増やしたり、遠くにいるのをすぐ近くに呼んでみたり、一番大切なのはやっぱりサーバントへ上位を告げられること
That
がね。
command seals.
ー。上位。
You can give them a super power up. make him teleport, or...
契約した英霊への絶対命令権よ。使えばサーバントにどんな命令も重いのかな。
100% command. Though, 100% command is a double-edged sword to that, because... Well... If you keep making the servant do shit they don't want to do... They might... more than once they've said, fuck the Grail, I'm just going to kill you because you've pissed me off too much.
どんな命令もというと、
自害とか
Yeah, few people do that.
裏を返せば普段はマスターの言葉や命令に強制力はないってことなんだけどね。どうしてもって時に使うみたい。絶対勝てとか言えばパワーアップになるしね。
パワーアップ乱語ですか？
She's speaking English at him.
ああ、そっか、そうよね。ごめんごめん。気力、旅力、勢力が増すってこと。それはもうすっごく増すので覚悟しなさい。例えばそうね、波の剣士でも斬鉄がやれるくらいに強くなるわ。
ただし3度きりだからね。覚えておきなよ。使うたびに1角ずつ減っていっちまうのさ。
Yeah.
三角使い切れば、はい、おしまい。
Otherwise, why wouldn't you just spam it, right?
要石や魔力のつながりは残るけど、契約は終わったとみなす英霊もいるだろうね。
なるほど。霊樹上位か。そう言われれば合点のいくこともあります。ことの葉一つでセイバーを止めた。我知らずですが、確かに一度霊樹を行使していた。
Yeah. Kind of a waste, because Saber still blasted the
この
fucking
辺
city
りの
with
司
it.
祭、さすがに語ってほしかったぞ、セイバー。
なんだろう、この子らの感じ。ねえ、武蔵ちゃん。
キュートだわ。
Musashi's in her own little world.
本当にもう。でもいつか共闘したりするんなら、義について一から説明しておくのが吉かね。
その辺のさじ加減は太夫に任せます。好きにするといいわ。
お
仕方ない。ひな鳥2羽にいろいろ教えてやるよ。まずは肝心要の英月だ。
Okay.
持つ者の願いを叶える願望切って触れ込みのこいつを
Of
めぐり、
course, like any Grail
私た
War.
ちは相争ってる。
It's waxing moon. Give you a wish.
願望期、願いが叶うとは聞いたが。
願いね。そうであってほしいよ。本当
It
にさ。
usually isn't. I mean... Usually when the Grail War is set up, on paper, if you can get a lesser Grail to show up, then the winner can get basically whatever they want. A lesser Grail can do anything a person could feasibly achieve given enough time. So, it could give you mountains of wealth, land, political power, stuff like that. But it couldn't do something like making you immortal. No amount of time could add to you. At least not within human limitations. Problem is, most Grail Wars, there's someone setting the thing up, trying to turn a lesser Grail into a greater Grail. And a greater Grail can do damn near anything. It could, transcend all of humanity to another state of existence, for example. Few people have tried to do that with Greater Grails. Or genuinely alter the flow of time, let you go back there and change something. Or the full might of a Greater Grail was once used to fight something that killed every god on the planet by itself. So, yeah.
英霊なんて大化粧を呼び寄せられるんだ。
See why people go for it, but usually the people actually fighting aren't the ones in on the plan to make a big one.
さて、続き。英月は義にあたり、まず7人の呼び人、マスターを選ぶ。これが私たちさ。あんた、あたし、唯小説、その他にあと4人。7人のマスターは英月に与えられた英霊。己がサーバントで互いに殺し合う。これが英月の義。つまるところ、お互いの命をかけた英月の奪い合いさね。
なるほど。7人7機の殺し合いか。
英月がこの世に下ろす英霊は全部で15。
Now, this is a bit different. 15 total spirits.
そんで、サーバントを作るには、魂の情報を収める箱が必要になるらしい。
There's a lot more servants than most Grail Wars go for. Usually you get the 7 and maybe an observer, but...
南蛮風に言えばクラスってやつね。
Right, servant classes.
クラス？
セイバ
Guy with a
ー、アー
sword.
チャー、
Attacks from a range.
ランサ
Has a spear.
ー、ライダー、
Has a mount.
キャスタ
Uses magic.
ー、アサシン、
Stealthy.
バーサーカ
Crazy as shit.
ー。7種類の箱に英霊の情報が収められてサーバントになるってわけ。
There's also the extra classes, but you don't need to worry about
7人のマスター。
any but one of those here.
7機のサーバント。尋ねたい。サーバントの総数は
Yeah, that math
15
don't
機
quite
の
add
はず
up.
では。
勘がいいね。残る8機はマスターを持たないのさ。そのうち1機がさっきあんたたちが戦った猛者。うちの心強い用心
Yeah,
の
that's
さ。
a rogue servant just out and about doing shit.
マスターを持たずに斧返しのみで動く、いわばはぐれのサーバント。
And Musashi's quite familiar with them.
師匠、サーバントにとってマスターは要石と聞きました。
Reasonable question he's coming to here. If I'm the anchor for Saber to be here, what's the anchor for the
はぐ
rogue?
れのサーバントは何を要石とし、何から魔力を得るのです？
そりゃあ霊脈からよ。
霊脈。天然自然の力のほとばしり。魔
From
力の本流。
bullshit that has never been proven, but for a fantasy world, why not?
気脈、地脈、流脈とも呼
The
ばれる
Dragon
大いなるもの。
Meridians ain't an uncommon one.
まさか師匠の口から耳にしようとは。
Weird for you to talk about magic shit.
へえ、詳しいな、より。
この辺りは紅玉のじいさんからな。
The sentient book told me.
剣の道には関わりのない神秘隠秘の事柄だが。
続けるよ。霊脈は江戸のあちこちに通っていてね。特に魔力を得やすい霊地があるって話さ。大抵はお社なりお寺なり立ってたりするかね。
According to New Age bullshit, yes.
なら、この吉原も霊地か？社は見当たらないぞ。
Sure, you're in one right now. It's not a shrine to a god, but it's a shrine, trust me.
必ずしもそういうのがあるわけじゃないさ。でもそう、ここも霊地の一つ。あの子はここを通る霊脈から直接魔力をもらってるのさ。だからあの子には主人はいないし、己の領域を離れない。
そうだったか。 気ままな身の上かと思ったが。
そうでもないわ。この儀のはぐれは不便なものなのです。マスター持ちの英霊に比べて魔力に乏しく、かなり力を減じているんだもの。どうも霊気が不安定みたいね。ああ、霊気っていうのはサーバン
They're
トの
just doing all
体
the
の
lore info they gotta do here.
力を減じて
For anyone who
あれです
came
か
into this not knowing fate, which I don't think there'd be too many people trying to jump into this. I feel like most of the people who played Samurai Remnant at least played Grand Order some.
ああ、彼は例外。普通はああも魔力あふれたはぐれはいません。
He is a berserker. They tend to be bullshit.
例外。主を持たないとのことですが、あの異常符、太陽
He
に
doesn't have a
懐いていた
master,
よう
but
な
kinda just doing whatever you tell him to, isn't he?
言わせんのかい？野暮だね、本当に。決まってるだろ。私を慕って守ってくれてんのさ。
さすがは吉原三大太夫の一角。
Yep.
音に聞こえた
Edo's
高尾だよ
number one prostitute snagged her a man. A man who's like 12 feet tall, with hair that touches the ground, and broken chain shackles. And he's not Japanese. Ah, man.
英霊。かつて異形を
Yeah,
成した偉
like I
人
said,
さえ
from a
取り込
foreign
むとは
land.
恐れ入る。
そんなこともある
It
さ
happens.
ね。
And I know exactly who Rogue Berserker is. And for me, the way I was raised, it was like seeing Superman in a video game. I was so happy, because I knew right away.
土帝家。
そうさ。英月の儀を取り仕切ってるのは陰陽師の宗家であらせられる土帝様。
And he's all but definitely certain to be fucking insane and trying to screw with everyone else. No one sets this shit up with good intentions.
私の知る限りはそうだ。儀の見届け役ってことらしいよ。
He's all but guaranteed to also be one of the masters.
では、英月とは陰陽師の秘術なのか？泰山府君の技というより、まるで竜宮童子のおとぎ話のようだ。英月。
ほう、聖杯の亜種か。
Gramps Red knows about this part.
じいさん、急に何をやって。
わからぬかより、英月の儀なる術式、陰陽道であるものか。陰陽の技で英霊を呼ぶことはあるまいよ。神仏の云々とも
Yeah,
程遠い
that's
と
the
見
thing.
たぞ。
This is very much Western magic. It is not Japanese magic. Japanese magic has its own things going for it. That is an interesting thing. Japan developed very different magic from the rest of the world because they were isolated for so long.
まずもって、この国で生まれた儀式ではなかろうて。東大の土帝、いかにして異国の下法なぞ知り得たものか。
なんなのさこれ。よくしゃべるけども。
Yeah.
こりゃ、そう強く握るでない。あ、いや、話す必要はないぞ。
It's funny because he's a book.
持つならばもっとこう、撫でるように。めくるときに引っ張りすぎじゃ。いたわらんか。
Getting manhandled.
ごめん。
Woman handled, actually.
てか、そっち系の物知りじいさんみたいね。いいもの持ってるじゃない、いおり殿。こいつを使えば、計策ってやつを立てられるよ。さっきこう言ったろ。あの子は霊地をよりどころにしてるってさ。
聞いたぞ。あの異常符のバーサーカーだな。
はぐれのサーバントはみんなそうさ。それに、
Right.
霊脈の魔
This
力
is
はマ
a
スターた
kind
ち
of
も
cool
使うん
mechanic
だ。
about this game I think they're about to start explaining.
陰陽師だか魔術師だかは知らないが、マスターってのは 魔力で術を使う輩ばかりさ。だからマスターは霊地を本拠にしてその魔力を利用する。私がここ吉原に陣取ってるようにね。
では高尾も何か術を使うのか？
Wouldn't you like to know?
どうだろうね。
なるほど。俺も本拠を定めるべきということか。
そう、話が早いね。
ふんふん、すでにこやつの住みかは工房と化しておる。どことは言えんが、そこも。
あ、ピンときた。
Yeah.
そうね、浅草あたりの下町
He's
じゃない。
gonna know some things about Iori.
なるほど、浅草ね。それはそれで立派な霊地じゃないのさ。
Can't get it perfect.
まったく師匠に隠し事はできませんね。
まあ最低限の支度ができてるならいいさ。掌握した霊地が増えるほどサーバントに回せる魔力も増えるんだ。裏を返せば抑えた霊地を奪われれば自分たちは弱くなり相手が強くなる。英月の儀は切った張ったの戦だけじゃない、霊地の争奪戦でもあるのさ。
Yeah. Spirit font control is supposed to be a big thing in Grail Wars, but oftentimes in the games it's something they kind of gloss over. This one does it well, and the Grailfront, like, minigame in Grand Order does it decently well.
では全ての霊地を得なければな。
威勢がいいね。けど派手に動き回るのはどうだろうね。格の高い霊地の多くは幕府の用地でもある。騒ぎを起こせばあっという間にお役人が退去してお縄だよ。
お、わかるぞそれは。切腹だ。いおりがするやつだ。
いや、
Not doing that.
さすがに男武蔵もそんなやわな鍛え方はしてないでしょう。でも目立つなっていうのは本当よ。聖杯もとい英月の儀は闇に紛れて戦うのが基本。手の内を明かさぬように動きつつ他者の動向を探りうまく立ち回りなさい。
手の内は武蔵と高尾には見せているな。
Yeah, 50-50.
そうね、私たち以外のマスターに手の内を明かさない。
The Musashi will probably fight you, but he's not gonna sneak you in your house.
なるほど。わかりました。つまり江戸の町を舞台とした戦だ。
イエス、その通り。
さあこんなところかね。話すべきことは話したし、ここらでお開きとしようじゃないか。
感謝する。貴殿のおかげで義の形が見えてきた。
Now our dear protagonist knows almost as much as I do about how this shit
セイバ
works.
ーは司祭を語らんし。
仲いいんだ。セイバー君、いいかしら。英霊絡みの経験がやや長いかもな先輩からちょっとだけアドバイス、助言って意味です。
Musashi's getting a little
受け
serious.
たまわろう。
ね、マスターなしじゃ勝てないわ。
You will get the ass beaten out of you if you are alone. That is how servants work.
たとえ天下一の名剣を持った剣士だとしても英霊同士の戦いには勝てないと思う。
Yeah?
最強の将軍や最高の王君、最大の神仏だったとしてもね。
You can think about who she's referring to in a few instances.
そこまでか。
そこまでよ。はぐれでなくひとたびマスターを得たらね。オッケー。
それじゃあそろそろしまいさね。と別れの挨拶の前に一つお願いだ。面白い話 もっと遅れよ。
Juicy gossip.
ゆい小説の話だけでは足りないか。はい、わかった。
さっきのはなかなか良かったよ。もう他のマスターと会ってるとはね。その調子でどんどん頼むよ。英月の儀に臨むマスターの名や居所。
Temporary alliances are pretty common in Grail
そ
Wars.
のあたりがわかると姉さん嬉しいわ。
She is attempting to use the power of prostitution to sway Iori. But I'm not fully sure he knows what sex is.
期限を切りましょう。そうね、7日ってところでどうかしら。
師匠。
力の無理難題をもらったという顔だな、より。
その通りだよ。
That's
この感じ
literally exactly what just
なんと
happened,
も
yes.
懐かしいものだ。
Reminds me of being a child.
期限を破ったり無視したりしたら、さっきの蝶々発しの続きってことになるから、早々に死にたくなければ気をつけること。
承知しました。
他のマスターの居所を調べて君たちに報
In
告
case
すれ
that
ばいい
wasn't
んだ
clear,
な。
Musashi would 100% kill Iori. If they had a real fight.
そういうこと。
Like, she's wants to talk to her son, but she'll kill him if they gotta.
文句ない
That's
ね。
just kind of how she works.
ならさっさと吉原を出な。
We're all good? Then get the fuck out of my
武蔵
house.
ちゃんのチキみたいだし、マスターとはいえここは見逃してやるよ。もっと頼もしくなってくれたら共闘してくれってこっちから頭を下げるかもね。そら、言った言った。
ご親切、痛み入る。
行こう、より。なんやかやで指針も得られた。
あ、
そうそう、最後に一
One
つ
more thing.
大事なことを伝えとくよ。宮本伊織殿、あんたはマスターになった。故に自らこの儀を抜けることはできない。英霊を失うこと、己が命を失うこと、あるいは義を勝ち抜くこと。
Yeah, the only way to get a master out of the running is to kill them. Because even if your servant dies, you can actually pick up another one, if they agree to it.
この3つ以外に抜ける手立てはない。せいぜい覚えておきな。武蔵ちゃんの弟子にしちゃ光るものはあるみたいだけれど、大した相手にはなりそうもないかね。お侍にしちゃあんまり気迫がないみたいだしさ。太平の世ってやつだし、そういうのが常なのかもしれないけどね。
Not the impression you got, Dayu.
正面切っての人情沙汰なら私のサーバントが必ず勝つ。違うかい？
そうね。
I mean, between Musashi and Iori, one is a servant, but Musashi herself was also fighting servants as a living human for a while. Never discount the bullshit that can happen in this series.
おや、かの新面武蔵ともあろう者が弟子相手では手が鈍っちまうのかい？
ああ、そこは安心して。師弟愛とか家族愛とか、そういうので手は
Yeah,
握ら
like
な
I
いから。
said, she
私
will still kill him if it comes to it.
単純に頭痛いなーって。こっちのいおりくんもああなんだって。あれじゃ生きづらいだろうに。ほんと生まれる時代を間違えたのね。
We'll get to find out together what exactly she means by that.
うん。なすべきことは決まったが。
You can make your guesses, but I didn't fully understand it my first playthrough. New Game Plus, I finally understood what she meant.
せっかくだ。私は少し吉原を見てみたいな。
構わんが、夜更け前には帰るぞ。騒ぎは起こすなよ。
Twists and turns of fate.
あれは
What do we got, Saber?
昼とはまた違った趣がある。一
Yeah,
段と
everything's
輝いて
lit up.
見える。
そうだな。用がなければ早く帰るぞ。
Been 3 seconds, Iori.
なんだ？帰りたいのか？
Energy gauge fills up as you work with Saber, get Saber excited. Right. Getting more affinity lets you get more skill stuff with Saber, I think.
よしよし。
Oop, got out of yellow health with that.
ほら、怖くないぞ。
Have you heard, Lord Samurai? Miuria girl has evidently flown the coop.
ですが
They say the courtesan fled from her manservant. Simply unthinkable. I expect she will be quite severely punished. One should not hold impossible dreams. Yeah, courtesans were borderline slaves? Like, they still got that. I mean, it wasn't quite 100% slavery, but it was damn close.
俺は俺のなすべきをなそう。
いつでも良いぞ。より。
Wrap up some Onibi. I haven't played Nioh 2. I can recognize what some of these monsters are a little better, and that's a little fun. Also fun just exploring a bit. Like, I do enjoy running around the maps in this game, and that's a big point for it over the Extra series. Admittedly, I never played original Extra. I should say, I guess I never played Extra or CCC. Played last Encore and then Extella and Extella Link, but Extella and Extella Link the only ones I played. I might have only done 2. Unrivaled Lecher Toji. Wait, I didn't do anything. This courtesan's supported by emotions.
早々に片付けるぞ。
They're prostitutes, dude. It's your own fault if you fall for something.
水の型でいく。 血の型。
油断したな。
もらった。終わりだ。
It's me. Deadly foe, unrivaled Lecher.
君がいようといまいと
Gross.
この結果は変わらない。
であれば、俺は変わらず戦うのみだ。
It's so interesting. I think I will try to do a New Game Plus run through of this just to show not only the alternate ending, but also how different some of the dialogue is. Plus 55 attack, and heavy attack up. I'll take the extra attack, hell yeah. You notice it actually does change the scabbards that on your character. And your swords can start looking ugly as shit like they do here. Blue handle, red scabbard, that's hideous.
あれは
Come on, doggo.
癒されるな。
ほら怖くないぞ。
What Go over to one of the food stalls to get some more health. I want to go over to those anyways. And there's more pets to pet.
癒されるな。
うい集め。
Is our diamond gate not grand? I too was impressed when seeing it for the first time. You will notice they sit in cages out front for advertisement. Though I do not imagine I shall ever pass through it again. Look, I'm networking with prostitutes here.
腹が。
いらっしゃい。
Dine in for the dongo. Dine in for some sugar water. Neither of that healed me. That was all meter stuff. How about you? You got healing dine in? Dine in for udon. There we go. I want to get all the different dine-in foods. Like, it gives you a check once you've done it once, so you won't... So you know.
あらあら。
You two look like you're not sure what to order here.
私だって。
Feel free to ask me
ど
anything.
うかしら。
Food stall enthusiasts won't lead you wrong. Have to try the sweets here. It's almost scary how addicting they are. Well, just looking at them makes me hungry. I bet I could eat 10 or 20 of them. I've been there, girl. Retiree Gourmand Seibai. Having a hard time deciding what to eat? Yeah, I think I'll mostly ignore those. The little recommend what to eat, because they don't actually give you any useful info.
高尾太夫を拝んだことあるかい？高尾太夫ってあの吉原一の遊女だろ？いや見たことねえな。かーもったいねえ。一目見てみな。惚れるぞ。
I mean, she's pretty. She's not the prettiest girl in this game.
いらっしゃい。
Now, sell items at the general store. Sell trade goods. That actually gets you a nice chunk of cash. You almost never need to buy mountings, because you're just gonna replace it in a few levels anyway. Save your money for more important upgrades. Go check that other enemy location. Okay, it's magic. First lantern.
いつでも良いぞ。より。
Raindrops are falling on your head. Ha-ha!
鋭き水の流れのごとく。
いつでも良い。呼べ。
もらった。
避けるなよ。任せろ。
And raindrops.
身が白道。
Got this guy up.
よっ。隙を見せたな。畳みかけろ。
Ah! I love counter systems in games where enemy does something, I can respond with my own stuff. When it's like a dedicated system, not just a, Actually, I suppose I like being able to interact with my enemy's attacks in a meaningful way. That's a magic attack, yeah. Probably not worth it then. Head back up north to talk to more people. I want to be getting those achievements when I can. I do have some skill points ready to spend. Let's see. 10 tech, 10 attack. Now let's get perfect evades. That's a very useful thing I need to have with me.
おいおい、また足抜けでも落ちたのか？男衆が血相変えて走り回ってたぞ。
連中に追われるなんて考えただけで身震いするぜ。
Oh, Lord Samurai. Another client of mine skipped on the bill. How much longer must I bear with this caged light? Oh, if only a wonderful dear friend would rescue me from all of this. Nah. Iori don't give a crap.
あれは
I'll go.
よしよし。
Little teeny tiny bit of health. I think that's about all we can do here for right now. They do give you an opportunity to do that stuff before you leave, at least. Like talking to all the prostitutes. Taking down a few bounties. Suken no Shin. Many constables patrolling as of late. Don't see them on the map, so... And there's no more aggressive thugs around, and that's all I'm missing from here right now. Kitty.
癒されるな。
At the kitty. At the kitty. Give me an item. Eh.
吉原の町も実に良きところであった。
You know, if you like
しか
prostitutes.
し霊地の一つとはただ歩くだけではわからぬものだな。
浅草も霊地だそうだ。じいさん、知っていたのか？
当然じゃ。伊達に何百年も魔術師をやっておらんわ。坂東の地は一通り知ってある。他のマスターもいずれかの霊地におるじゃろう。
Good place to start looking if you know where they
以
are.
後は頼りにするぞ。さて、長屋へ戻るか。
It looks like the only thing I can do is go home. To Asakusa.
Go ごちそうさまでした。
うん。
気のない返事だな。
うん。
さては飯の量が不服だったか？
違う。というか君、私を退職官か何かと思っていないか？
Yes.
違うのか？
No. Aren't you?
見当違いも甚だしいぞ。私はただ米が。
米がどうしたと？
Is that about rice?
なんでもない。
Nah, they're all embarrassed.
ならば気にすまい。時に先ほど高尾太夫が言っていたことだが、覚えているか？
高尾はいろいろ語ったが、どれだ？
義を抜けることはできないのあたりだ。
それが何か?
Now, the way it's supposed to work is if you want to back out, you can go to the Observer and tell them. They'll find a replacement for you and keep you safe, but that's how the church usually runs Holy Grail rituals. I don't think the Onmyo are doing that.
義からは抜けられない。セイバーを失うか、自らあるいは義を勝ち抜くか。
ならば話はたやすいな。打って出る。私ならそうするが、君はどうだ？
無論、そうするさ。
Little tiny bit. Memento Ring. Progressing Lunar Chronicles and Digressions will fill Saber's Memento Ring. Represents the bond between Aori and Saber. When it's filled, it will grant effects such as increasing your chance to use Link Strikes in battle and unlocking Saber's skills. There's the skill part. Daytime!
さて、より、一応尋ねておこう。これから何をする？
What's the plan?
散々太夫から義の司祭を聞いたからな。型をつけるために動く。他のマスターの拠点に当たりをつけ、探って回る。
悪くない。私も同じことを考
They
え
were
てい
actually
た
on
か
the
ら
same
な。
page for once.
それで、君はどう狙いを定める？
唯小説の本拠を探る。太夫のほか、唯一名を知る相手だ。
They're a public figure.
奴は殺さんとする俺に名を告
I
げた。
guess Iori's just going by the rumors for Yui's gender.
どうにも律儀な人物のようだからな。
ふむふむ。
それからあのミメだ。
Yeah, white hair.
容姿に白髪は
White
よく
hair
目立つ。
usually has significance in Fate.
ナト姿。手がかり2つあれば。
The few reasons to have it. Sometimes it doesn't mean anything, but sometimes it means there's something. Usually it means there's something different about your magic circuits, which is the organ that lets you do
どこ
magic.
から探る？
まずは手近からだ。江戸は800野鳥と言われるが、限りはある。地道に浅草近辺から探っていこ
うん。筋は通っていると見た。では、ライダーとユイを探るのだな。うんうん。私としても、相手取るならライダーかランサーが望ましい。全く依存ないぞ。
う。同意を得られて何よりだ。
I'm so glad you
まずは
agree.
ライダーと雌雄を決する。ランサーはその次だ。さあ、行くぞ、より。
Journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. It's funny, the first time I ever heard that proverb was in a Scooby-Doo movie. I think it was Scooby-Doo and the Samurai's Ghost. Mounting is a season pass bonus. Ah.
やるか。
Okay, they're just decent early game ones. They're not game-breaking. Like, for the early game, that's decently strong. There's nothing too crazy, at least. I was a little worried that might break the game, but nope. Like, damage up versus humans and a good attack boost. HP restoration with damage dealt is really good. Loot up. And HP restore with enemies beaten. And the swords look pretty cool, too. I'm not going to be mad about just good, decent equipment for the early game. Like, I will definitely replace this stuff before the game's over, or even that far along, frankly. Bookshelf. Yeah, I only have an alt costume for Musashi unlocked. Yeah, she actually switches to way more formal speaking when she sees Thaber. Y'all sneaking off to fuck?
合いびきそうなのかより
The hell does that mean?
違う。
Not even remotely close, no.
わかってますよ兄上ささどうぞ楽しんできてくださいな留守番は任せちゃって
愛らしいのだなカヤは
そうだな。気を取り直して聞き込みに行くぞ。
Holding down touchpad while exploring, bring up the Edo map. Press triangle on the town map to switch to the Edo map. You change the game settings. Fair enough. And this is a good PC port. They let you rebind shit.
いってらっしゃい兄上
Hush, small child. You know not of what you speak. Go commit morally justified murder. Which I guess if you think about it means it's not really murder, huh? Oh yeah, I remember these. You're not a dog, you're a guy. You can discern my transformation technique? Hagemaru. Being detected by a samurai of all people, what a disgrace. However, I shall not lose heart. Listen well, samurai, I shall pull the wool over your eyes yet. Just try and see through my technique. And with that, poof. Transformation technique, huh? Find it fascinating that a normal person can change into a beast.
まったく。
Saber, it's not some party trick. I think one of the shrines is over here? I can never remember where all the shrines are. Ooh, there is at least one thing up here.
遅いぞ
Two, in fact.
ここは随分見晴らしが
This
良い
is a
な
fun part of exploring. Sometimes Saber just sees something cool.
わ
Ah,
どうしたセイバ
what's wrong with you?
燃ゆる山並みを望むとなたまにこういうことをしたくなるのだなんだいおりはならぬのか
ー？どうだろうな。
Saber gets a skill point when you do some of those. Which, oh yeah, discover exciting spots to unlock Saber's rushing attack. It actually costs... Saber has huge-ass SP costs. This... Nah, this is just a fight area. There's a thing you do later in the game, I remember now.
もらった。血の型受けてみろ。頼むセイバー。
言われてても分かっている。
Blast! I do have an alert for those guys. Now they have abilities that give me health back. And really enjoy fights again. Ah, skeleton warriors.
いつでもよい。呼べ。
ここだ。
避けるなよ。
決める。
いつでもよいぞ。より。はあ。
Boom. Collapse. Even just 3 HP per kill is pretty nice. I think it's actually percentage based. My health might literally be too low to gain meaningful off of damage.
Yeah.
Worried when my store got destroyed, but I know I'll get by somehow. I never want to go through something like that again. I sure hope there's not a climactic battle here later in the game. It's a game? I don't know either. I've already had here. Come to Asakusa, you can't go home without taking some honeyed rice cakes. The stall specialist people. Weirdos who just hang out at food stalls telling everyone what they should buy.
かやちゃん今日も来てるらしいな。あんな可愛い妹さんに心配かけんじゃないぞ。
Oh. Sleeping Beast Tasake. It is a Miyamoto Iori, the magistrate's lapdog. Recognize that ugly mug anywhere.
出番だ。
待っていろ。そこだ。行くぞ。
もらった。
油断したな。
鋭き水の流れのごとく。
油断したな。
この勝利。
This one just ripping up those guys.
でこそだ。
Deadly foe, bested.
あれはなんだ。
What's up, Zaber? Ah, yes. Throughout the spirit fonts of Edo, some special places have been affected by the energy of ley lines. Press R3 near these places to identify them. Visiting them restores your various gauges and provides gems. Explore Edo, try to find them all.
見ろ、より。赤くて大きい。より、あれはなんだ。
あれは雷門の大提灯。
Great lantern.
わかるか？
うん、知らんな。
Couldn't tell ya.
まずはそこからか。
Okay, baby steps.
この匂いは。
Oop.
急げ、より。
Zaber found another spot they like.
食べたいのか？
いつ私がそのようなことを。
You are staring dead-eyed at a food stall.
だが心よく地層せんとする。その心がけやよし。さてこたびは何が出てくるか。
Alright.
食べ終えたらすぐに行くからな。
ごゆっくり。
That was the dine-in udon.
方法が
Just get egg sushi because I want
またの
to
お越しを。
get completion points. And food stall hopping. Gotta visit as many food stalls as you can.
この匂いは。
Another one.
急げより。腹が減ったな。
わかったよ。
時にかような屋台にカヤとは行くのか。
ああ、稼ぎがあった時にたまにな。気を使っているのか、堅くなに一番安いものしか頼もうとしないが。
不甲斐ない話だ。
Hmm.
いつか必
Ah,
ず
Saber, you care an
好き
awful
な
lot
ものを
about
食
that.
させてやれよ。
そうだな。
よく聞
Kokoro
き
10
りさ。
and Narat Kameshi.
またいつ
腹が
でも。
減った
Food
な。
stall hopping. Sure, get some extra HP. No reason not to get that when you can, really. Something unlocked over here. Oh, yeah. Let's get the attack up. And technique up. How many skill jewels do I have? Actually, quite a bit. Da-da-da. Lock this. And my Earth Stance attacks now ignore blocks. Well, not ignore, but I don't bounce in Earth Stance now, which is very useful. I do like how getting abilities in the different trees diversifies them a lot more, other than just their combos. Like, sure, there's the stats that follow everywhere, but then there's stuff like Water Stance's knockback is way better. Perform Riposte, I just got that ability, so... Let's get some more defense as well. I am woefully lacking in that stat. Magic's the only thing worse. Can't go in there. The shop I haven't been to on the other side of this place. You got. Horse rope for cheap. Sure. They're having a sale, go for it. You do need materials in this game. I will pet the kitty.
癒されるな。
Not missing any health, so I don't need to worry too much about it.
よしよし。
Can't even see the doggy. Thought it was a kitty. Huh. Asakusa dog lover.
小説の噂を聞くには。
Digression has become available in Yoshiwara. Talking to rogue servants and other specific characters or visiting certain towns may begin digressions, which are side stories concerning rogue servants and other parties. See a digression icon on the map, be sure to check it out.
何かあるな。お、いおり、うまそうなものが置いてあるぞ。なんともったいない。私が。
待て、それは地蔵への備え物だ。
うわあ、なんだ、備え物か。では、この石は神なのだな。危ない。
Even Saber understands food offerings to the divine. Mistaking a Jizo statue for a god is pretty funny. This map is way friggin' bigger than when this game came out. I swear half of this shit was not here before. Here we have the digression, the Guardian of Yoshiwara. If you go here, you can fight Rogue Berserker. It's not impossible, but it's genuinely difficult as shit to try to fight him at this point in the game. Like I said, he's like the Lu Bu of this scenario. Gonna wait a bit before I try that. You can win if you're really, really good. I don't think I'm really, really good. Like, basically one fuck up and he can damn near one-shot you.
分かっているな、セイバー。
ちょいと、そこの粋なお侍さん。うちの品見てってくれよ。
すまない、先を急いでいる。
そりゃ失礼した。暇になったらいつでも寄っとくれ。そん時は先に行っちまったあんたの連れも一緒に頼むよ。
セイバーめ、気配を殺して走っていったな。
They were sprinted off 3 seconds into being here.
さっさと探すか。
Alright, where's their crazy ass? Uzi. White kimono and hair tied back? I haven't had any customers like that. Looking for someone? It'd have to be elsewhere. You're my first customer today.
こちらには来ていないか。ならば南だ。
おUshiman Tenjin.
このところ雲一つない青空からイカズチが轟くのが聞こえるん
I'm
だ
sure
よ。
that couldn't have anything to do with a rogue servant.
雷神様がお怒りなのかね。
A rogue servant tied to a thunder god, you say? Oh. Maybe it's not even a thunder god from this land.
さっきすれ違った子がね、目を輝かせながら通りをあちこち見回してたの。おのぼりさんかしら。可愛かったわ。
白い着物に結紙の客
Yeah, we're going the right way at
つい
least.
さっき来たぜ。次から次に質問を浴びせてきてな。息つく暇もなかったよ。
Sounds like Weber. Weber.
セイバー。
Nah.
おお、遅いぞ、より。
御徒町はさほどに楽しかったか。
You having fun, you little shit?
何を言う。私は私なりに聞き込みを。
Uh-huh.
いおり。
その面は
The mask for.
これはその当世のものに紛れるためにだな。
Try again. Not buying it.
言っておくが、私とてただ遊んでいたわけではないぞ。
攻めてはいない。見知らぬ町は物珍しいものだ。
まあそれはな、それはそうだと思う。だが本当に遊んでいただけではない。感じないか、より。
あ
あ。わかるな。我らに向けられる
Ah, being watched. That's normal and fun.
御徒町に足を踏み入れてよりこの方、我々は見張られて。
おうおう、そろそろどいてくれ、あんちゃんたち。商売の邪魔だよ。
No one here.
ああ、すまない。今すぐに。
君、唯小説を知っているか？
Saber.
セイバー。そう、誰彼構わずに。
唯小説？なんでまたそんな手配を探してんだよ。
貴殿、知っているのか？
浪人どもの耳に入らねえよ。小声で頼むぜ。
Oh.
連中、先生って呼んで奴を慕ってるからよ。
ほうほう。
唯小説といや、浪人を集めて開いた軍学塾で何やらやってんだとよ。うろんな侍さ。ここだけの話、塾に集った浪人どもは揃いも揃ってお上に手向かいそうな奴らばかりだ。何かを企んでてもおかしくねえと俺は思ってるぜ。
その浪人どもはどこにいる？
なんだ、連中に用があったのか。俺を巻き込まねえでくれよ。二売茶屋に行ってみな。両国橋か北の外れか、どっちかの店にたむろしてるはずだぜ。
Surprisingly informative. To the point I'm suspicious of it. You set us up, kill him.
浪人を集めた私塾。そこが小説の本拠かもしれん。
時に浪人とは何だ？
俺の同類。乱世を終えた徳川の世に身を立てるすべなきはぐれ者。
Ended the fighting is a strong word for what... Like, ended is a strong word for what Tokugawa did about the fighting. Yet simultaneously too weak.
そういうものか。
くれぐれも首をはねるんじゃないぞ。小説の私塾。ここからは両国橋の二売茶屋が近いか。
いらっしゃい。
シミはおかわり。
This is where a good chunk of my money
それ
goes.
じゃあね。
Is getting all the different dine-in options.
よしよし。
うい集め。
Pet the doggy.
あれ
Oh,
は
Kachimachi dog lover.
おい、
You seen him? Rare birds from foreign lands of the circus tent. Which one's brighter and gaudier than the last? All animals overseas like that? No.
よりここは何の店だろう？
Reasonable
確
question.
か珍しい鳥獣が楽しめる小屋だったか。
Yeah, there's a picture of a
見たことは
peacock.
ないな。なんでも鳥や獣が大層見事な曲芸をすることもあるらしい。
ほうほう。それは楽しそうだな。
入らないぞ。銭がかかる。
Not going in.
あれは
そういや。
That farting fool sure is something. You make any sound you can imagine.
どうだい？
That's why the circus tents are so crowded. You should go check it out. Farting pool? Yuri, your they them wants to go in. Yeah, hey Quilla.
御徒町も随分と賑やかな町だな。浅草に勝るとも劣らない。興味深い店も多々ある。寄ってみたいものだが。
What is this? Rats? Or mice that stand up? I don't know what the hell to make of that picture up there.
俺たちにはやることがある。また今度な。
約束だぞ。
Such a child. Hello, kitty. Cat's on exaggerated makeshift gaita, you think? I'll look again and check on that. That's not quite what I thought was going on. Looks like gaita on top of, like, stilts. Because one of them's holding another one up for it to step on, I think. This is a better angle to look at it from, at least. But no, there's, like, clearly a different part from the gaita to where this... It is still, like... Those still look like very high gaita, but it is also stylized imagery. Like... Is it just a place where cats do cool tricks, maybe? Maybe they just have trained cats?
Oh,
the Beyblade tent.
より、ここは一体何のお店だ？
曲芸小屋だ。駒回しなどが見られるそうだ。
コマ？気になるぞ。
Goofy Koban, maybe? Maybe.
一目だけでも。
当然だが銭がかかる。またの機会にな。
ちゅ。
That's part of why Saber's skill stuff is so expensive, because it's not hard to get a bunch of skill points for Saber just doing all those. Probably theater for like Kabuki or something. Seems tiny for Kabuki.
この味わい。
またのお越しをお待ちしてます。
Like, even this seems teeny tiny for what it's doing. How many people could feasibly fit in that room? It's tall, but... Unless they've got stairs set up in there. Even then, you're not getting that much extra space with how tall this thing is. I realize it's not unrealistic, I just feel like it's uncomfortable. I think the period is too early for Rakugo. It is the Edo period, so maybe. Like, Tokugawa's only been in command for a little bit at this point. I mean, it's long enough for Musashi to die, but also in this world, Musashi apparently was just born earlier. Like, even this world is not the proper main timeline. It would still happen. Apparently in the real-life timeline, Miyamoto Musashi was apparently directly involved in the Shimbara massacre. But here, he was apparently too old to be called for it. Ah, I know what you are. Meow, purr, purr. It's not working in it. Actually, this is about the right period for the beginnings of Rakugo proper. Huh? Could be then. Yeah, there's just a ninja you can find transformed into stuff around the place. This is the second time we found him now. Overestimated how old Musashi's son must be. Oh yeah, no, I don't think he's even 20 here. Like, I think he's like 19 at this exact moment. He's supposed to be pretty young. Probably around the time of the first Rakugoka.
あそこに集っているのが浪人か?
Well, they have katana, but no armor, so yeah.
殺気立っているな。あれでは話を聞けそうにない。
一人捕まえてみよう。何？吐かせる手はいくらでもある。
Fucked up thing to say, Saber. Trust Chad is brought up on Akane Banashi? Probably not.
それは最終手段だ。まずは店の裏から聞き耳を立てる。
We doing spy stuff. Shaking my head, y'all don't even Rakugo. You know, small attention to detail I really like. How Iori actually holds his swords to make sure he can sidle through like this. He holds them parallel to his chest so he can sneak through. Like, I feel like a lesser game would just have them clip through the wall. It's small, but I like it.
小説先生、なんだって幕府なんぞにお使いなすったんだ。俺たち門下生は先生が世の不条理を正す。
The games don't consider how difficult wearing swords can be. Yeah. They actually take they take a lot of care of how he holds his swords a lot.
まさか役人どもに袖の下でも使われて心変わりを起こしちまったんじゃ。
おい貴様、小説先生の世を思うお心軽んじるつもりか。
Yeah, long swords on your side. The reason for it being on your back is because it impedes your movement a lot less, though it's just harder to draw it. But having them at your waist, a lot easier to draw, but it's gonna get in the way if you have to go through a tight space. Which granted, most samurai didn't have to go through a tight space, so hell, most fighters who would have a sword, they wouldn't have a tight space to have to go through, so it wasn't a big deal.
あの方が金ごときで幕府になびくはずがない。ちと我々には家の事情があるのだろう。
事情か。まさか役人にはめられて士官を余儀なくされたんじゃ。
それだ。
I realize Iori's hair is definitely anachronistic. Like, there is no way he'd not have it. There's no way he'd have bangs in this era, but they wanted him to look at least a little cool. On your back is useless because you can't reach. Yeah. There are ways around that, like... It's also not necessarily the most comfortable. Bear weight on our hips very comfortably. That is true.
小説は幕府に仕えていたのか。だが何のために？どんな地位にあるんだ？
幕府。
セイバー？
ああ、なんでもない。しかし、私塾の場所もわからずじまいだ。やはりここは。
He's touching down somewhat difficult. Entering doorways. Yeah.
やめておけ。次だ。北のニユリ茶屋へ向かう。
And, I mean, katana obviously aren't designed to be drawn from the back. Be very difficult. I think there's only one sword fighter, like... Technically, he doesn't even use a katana, he uses a daikatana. Wait, would that be a daikatana? The washing pole is a weird, unique weapon. It just has a long-ass blade. He wears it on his back, but there's actually a lot of slack to the sling. And when he draws it out, he basically hucks it over his shoulder to pull it out. Like, parallel to the ground over his shoulder when he draws it. Which means it would bang around a lot on his back. So, realistically, not a good way to draw it. But he can't wear it on his hips because it's so long. And that's Sasaki
おそ
Kojiro.
らくな。奴ら、連れだっていずこへ行く。
It is interesting, Kojiro was one of the first servants they ever made. Because he's the assassin in Stay Night. And then Musashi took, like, well over a decade to show up. And they just went absolute insanity with what she could do. To be fair, they went insanity with what he can do. Sasaki Kojiro can attack 3 times simultaneously. And he's not using magic to do it, he's just that fast. He's literally swinging a second and third time before the first one has landed because he's faster than causality.
ユイに会いに行くのかもしれん。追うぞ。
It is an attack blatantly said to be undodgeable. It's an unusually big katana. It is kind of by definition of daikatana. The thing is, the handle I don't think is any longer. And it's not any wider either. Like, it is still the same width and, like, hilt length. More properly, it's an oversized uchikatana. It's an odachi. I think it is an uchikatana specifically. It's just it just has a way longer blade.
犬か。
おとなしいな。
But, you know, it's a weird, unique custom weapon. Like any kit-bashed nonsense and anything. Technically, it's all katana all the way down. That is true. Daikatana are still katana. Katana just means sword, yeah. Although, do they differentiate a kusanagi from a katana? Because I think a katana specifically does have the curve in it. And I don't... Is that the same? That's a linguistics thing I'm just not sure of. Daikatana aren't what they're actually called. Odachi or Nodachi. That makes sense. But Saber has a kusanagi. In fact, I think it's specifically the kusanagi. Like the actual original legendary one. What other kind of just sword do you say? Kusanagi. A longsword. You know, where it's a straight blade. It's straight with blades on both sides. It's pointed. Bronze swords, you know? Before they had iron, that's kind of what they made them look like. The kind Saber has. Ah, they knew we were following them. With the Imperial Regalia, yeah. I think that is specifically what Saber has here. A few different people have used that sword, so I don't feel uncomfortable saying it. Or like it's really spoiling anything. To unlock one of Saber's skill trees, I gotta have them take out human enemies. Oh yeah, the clashes are super easy if you're playing as a servant. Oh. More enemy designs, I believe, ripped straight from Grand Order. Which I do not mind. Even the Strange Fake anime added some more, like, Grand Order enemies, just because they're good, like, enemy designs. Because I think in the Strange Fate books, and the manga is impossible to find here. Even fan translations are hard to find for that. Because it's a manga adapted from a light novel. Because there's a lot of Fate light novels. The friggin' El Meloe Case Files manga is also a pain in the ass to get. The light novels are weirdly easier, so I gotta order those. Did the El Meloe anime ever get dubbed? Probably not, but I bet there's a sub I could find.
貴様らのおかげで命拾いした。レオユ。
I think that kind of sword would not be katana. Katana means single-edged swords. That's what I thought. I was pretty sure Kusanagi, the old Bronze Age swords were considered something different. Wait, you came back to someone you knew was hunting you to thank them? I mean, it's just polite, man.
それが我が師、小説先生の心情だからな。
ならば、貴殿。
おっと、こうしてはいられん。ではな。
待て、まだ話を。言ってしまったが。
He fucked off.
あの急ぎは、もしや奴は私塾に向かったのではないか？ユイの本拠を暴くまたとない好機だ。徳を追うぞ、より。
よし、俺たちも向かおう。
Not necessarily curved, like a chokuto is a katana. That's fair. But I was mainly saying I was pretty sure that long swords were considered a different thing. Chokuto are cool as hell, by the way. I know functionally there's a reason they switched to katana, but I like them. Katana encompasses most Japanese swords throughout history. Japanese swords have been single-edged for a long fucking time. Yeah, that is part of the appeal of why you know Saber is such an old servant. Because they have a two-edged sword. At least old by this level thing. I believe they are the second oldest Japanese servant. I believe. I think... no, third oldest. I almost forgot one. First oldest is legendary first queen of Japan. Second oldest is her successor. And then I think Saber is number 3. Kusanagi should be one of, if not the oldest designs of Japanese swords. Yeah. We don't actually know what it looks like. It's locked away by the Imperial family. We don't know the exact design, but we can feasibly... Most media I know of assumes it's a longsword. If it actually exists, yeah. There's stuff like that. Who the fuck knows, yeah. Apparently Shuten Doji's severed head is supposed to be in there too. Or wait, was it Otake Maru's severed head that's supposed to be still locked up? It might be both, actually. No, I think Otake Maru, his head was briefly locked up, but he woke back up and broke out, and then they killed him properly. Whatever, there's supposed to be an Oni's skull in there somewhere. What else is in there? It's not considered one of the 7 treasures, I don't think. It just is supposed to be there. There's also the mirror. Yeah. Yeah, a roommate in college could have said these with his eyes closed and both of his hands broken.
頼むセイバー。
言われずとも分かっている。
決める。
It is funny thinking about how, of Japan's, like, 3 great monsters, apparently 2 of them, they just knew where they still were. One of them was their head severed and they should be dead, locked up in the treasure vault. One of them should be fully dead by this point, and then another one is in a rock and we don't think it's dead yet. Shuten Doji. Pretty sure it's dead. Like, the Heavenly Kings, we think, did it. Otake Maru. Some divine intervention was involved. Pretty sure he's dead this time. And then Tamamo no Mai. She's in the rock. We don't think she's done. We don't want to open it and check. Although I think the rock did break a few years ago. Dachi's only really concerned with the length of the blade. Technically, the length of the handle doesn't matter. Sure does sound hard to use an Odachi with a Tachi-length handle. Yeah, that's like the whole thing. Yeah, I suppose it is technically an Odachi, then. More properly, an elongated Tachi. It's an older sword than the Uchigatana. Ah. It's the sword Sasaki Kojiro supposedly held. Called the washing pole because it was weird how long it was.
So yeah.
Saw a mummified mermaid in one of the circus tents. They really exhibit such a monstrous creature without punishment? It's definitely not real. But I understand why a Japanese person in this era might not be able to figure that out. To be fair, plenty of people from the place those fake mermaids were made couldn't tell they were fake. But I can see people not used to that kind of grift believing it even more. Pet the dog. Really are just dogs and cats all around Edo.
Yosh, yosh, yosh.
Yeah, that reminds me of the theory of why wolves are called okami. Supposedly, the earliest Japanese settlers had a lot of problems of the native fauna just eating all the crops they tried to grow. Then, at one point, wolves came out of the woods and ate up all the herbivores, so their crops could actually flourish. So they called the wolves gods, kami. That is a linguistic theory. I do not know how true it is. I don't think anyone does, but it's a very interesting one. And it led to a wonderful pun, which was able to name a pretty good game.
What? 道場？まるで人気がないが。ああ、浪人はどこへ行ったのだ。徹底的に探すぞ、より。
え？
やつめ、一体どこへ？ユイへつながる唯一の手がかり。逃さんぞ。
Don't have a lot of options here, Saber.
待って。キデンラ、この辺りに配された御家人か。
Oh dear, this part. Uchigatana was the immediate evolution of the Tachi, both pretty similar to each other. Tachi usually had more extreme curves and longer handles.
こやつらだ。
何？
これまで我らを睨み
I
続けて
suppose it's also questionable
こや
because
つらのものだぞ。
while Miyamoto Musashi was definitely a real person, Sasaki Kojiro probably wasn't, so it's really up to interpretation when he would have lived, so what kind of sword the washing pole would have been. Both actually had a lot of variation in their design over the time they were made. Many tachi were turned into Uchigatana by cutting down the tang.
なるほど。
邪魔者は切る。
Oh, that's not normal.
ほほ来るか。切り抜けるぞより。やっ
水の型でいく。連中の球鋭くありながら気迫にかける。本にならず剣を握っている。だとしたらやらせないな。こっちだ。
Sure, why not? Just make them all dead immediately.
やつならばもう一度だ。
揺るがぬ角ごとく終わりだ。そうだ。
Whoa! Fast as fuck, boy.
随分と時を費やしてしまった。あの浪人ももう近くにはいまいな。
そう気を落とすな、セイバー。得るものは得だ。あとはいかにして私塾にたどり着くか。ここはつてを頼るか。
つて？
同心の助の心だ。奉行所であれば浪人の動静には詳しい。
Yeah, I imagine they would.
私塾のような
If a lot of masterless samurai are getting together under a specific banner, you're gonna want to keep tabs on that growing army.
ではユイの私塾もか。
定かではないがあり得るだろう。浅草に戻るぞ。
Other random talk locations, so yeah. Ooh, sure. Extra monster damage will be good on you. I have enough, but need tons of skill points to get it. Affinity up spell, I don't care that much. Defense up spell, I really don't use spells for that stuff. I'll buy this just to get further into the water tree, honestly. Just more health will always be cool.
鍛えておけよ。
You just think Iori would feel if he came back to life, saw this game depicting him looking like he just rolled out of bed and couldn't be bothered to comb his hair. I feel like he'd have bigger fish to fry. I mean, I wonder if he'd be upset that he's essentially a footnote in history. And that his adopted father was always a much more important person, no matter how much he did with his own life. Like, in the long run, Miyamoto Iori didn't do much other than keep the school going. Probably knew that was gonna happen. Yeah, probably. Even back then, Musashi was a legend. Yeah, it's hard to top Hinmen Musashi. The Sword Saint, sometimes called the Buddha of the Sword. Now, how much of that is attributed to, you know, post-mortem titles is hard to say. Imagine he'd be a little more upset that his dad is now depicted as a sexy anime woman. Though even in this story, that sexy anime woman is not the same Miyamoto Musashi.
水の型で
I imagine this hair would be seen as, like, very improper. Would it bug him? Hard to say. I don't know the guy. Yuri does have a statue, so that counts. Yeah. So does William Adams. It's really funny that the statue of Miura Anchin, his weeb name, the Japanese one was made first, and England was so pissed about it, then they made one for William Adams. Like, they did not give a shit until someone else did it first. I see a sexy woman. My dad was a disgusting freak. He never bathed. His skin was hard and scaled and fell from him like snow, and he smelled like shit. I am familiar with the fact that Miyamoto Musashi supposedly had eczema. It is a really funny detail. I doubt I got a better mounting than this DLC one. Honestly, these DLC ones might actually hold through a regular new game cycle. Sources say Musashi rarely bathed and had gross skin. Historians think probably means he had really bad eczema, bathing hurt for him, so he didn't do it, yeah. Yes, I'm familiar because... a few reasons, actually. One, Miyamoto Musashi is a historical figure of some interest to me. And two, I have a mild form of eczema myself. Best he would wet himself with a damp washcloth? Yeah. It really is too bad he was before the era of showers and lotion. I promise you, showers are much easier than full-on baths. And lotion also helps mitigate beforehand. Or in a country that normalizes bathing in near boiling water. Yeah, that probably didn't help. Like, I actually kind of prefer cold showers, and I do wonder if eczema is involved in that or not. So hot you don't know how they do it? I don't either. Though I do think they have the right idea about showering as being the way to clean yourself, and then bathing as just a method of relaxation. Like, you clean yourself before you go in the bath, so everyone can use the bath. I think that's smart. Way better than how we handle showers. I always... It is, like, boiling hot, though, apparently, yeah.
やっこさんの塾は門を叩く浪人で大にぎわいだとか。
さすがに耳が早い。その塾、江戸のどこにある？
悪いな、そこまでは知らんな。ちょい待てよ。
Good with just showering? No, I am too, but I think it's a... I think it's a much more efficient use of the water than... hop in a bath, and then the next person has to set their own bath. But no, if you clean before you get in the bath, everyone can use the same bath water and it's not weird. Don't want to bathe in any shared water? Well, that's the thing. If everyone's clean before they go in, then it's not... It's... Don't care if they clean first? Okay. It's weird? Is it any weirder than getting in a pool with someone? Like, realistically?
ついこの間仕官したばかりだとかなんとか。そいつなら知ってるんじゃねえか
Weird, I will waste the fucking water.
それはいいことを聞いた。オンに切る。
Because my balls are out. And so were theirs. Yeah, but that tells me you don't trust yourself to clean your own balls.
初めから同心に聞けばよかったな。ま、いろいろ見られたからよしとしておくか。
I mean, no ball water contact. It's not about it being clean.
そうだな。日も暮れる。今日は
So, like, you won't even touch another person's underwear that just came out of the laundry?
あ、いおりさん、ちょいと待ちな。用心棒の依頼は来ちゃいないと言ったが、いくつか紹介できそうな仕事はあってね。
Ah, yes. You would rather not?
驚いたぜ。
Unyielding as the earth,
かたじけない。
flowing like water. Defeat enemies with spells. I always have trouble with this, because at this point in the game especially, gems are kind of hard to come by. Defeat with affinity techniques, working on it. Defeat with link strikes, working on it. Valor strikes, working. Mid-air is a little hard. With servants. Yeah, these are basically like your bonus achievements.
じゃあまたな。
As their underwear, not them. Can be cleansed of their essence. Cannot cleanse the body of the essence of them.
あんたの腕。じゃあま。
This is a weird hang-up you got, but...
よく働いたな。よく働いたら腹が減ったな。
I mean, I've got my own weird hang-ups. I'm not one to judge. They're secreting oils? I mean, some, yeah.
最近誰もいないはずの空き家から物音が聞こえることがあるんです。私疲れてるのかな。
Yes, you're tired and crazy, and I didn't take over someone's house to expand my house. You can get into someone else's bull sweat and oil soup. I really don't think there's gonna be sweat. You can argue the oils, but sweat, I don't think so.
何か食べるか?
Like how Saber still makes comments when you walk by a food stall. Even if you've already been to it.
Na, Yuri. 宣告から何をそんなに考え込んで。
セイバー、貴殿、御徒町での一件をどう見る？
アチマチ。
そのことか。
You haven't been in a Japanese bath? Trust me, there's gonna be sweat. You do make a fair point there, yeah. If it's as hot as people say it is, you probably would sweat in it.
おそらく何らかの
It's not we sweat. You probably don't notice because the environment is hot and wet already. Yeah.
呪術か。となると、術師
Probably also what they talk about when they say, don't stay in the bath too long, you'll get lightheaded. It's like, I think you're falling out of heat stroke if you get lightheaded in that bath. I don't think you're gonna dehydrate to the point of actually affecting you.
さてな。おう、ユイはどうだ？本拠を探る私たちの動きに感づいたというのはあり得るぞ。
うん。
まあ、どうでもいいことだ。誰の企てであろうと、さしたる問題ではない。敵は切る。私がそうする。
Saber's still very full of themselves.
確かに、小説の仕業という筋はあり得る。だが、このやり口はどうにも。
Here's one of Iori's strengths. He's actually a very logical individual. Especially about people's ways of thinking and motivations. He knows Yui Shosetsu. It was against that person's, like, creed as a samurai to kill someone without showing their face and introducing themselves. Which I don't think is a terribly uncommon samurai code, at least on paper. I'm sure plenty of samurai just ignored the rule if they felt like it. But this one didn't, so it seems odd they'd also control someone like that.
Teksuka!
噂をすればなんとやらだな。
もののけか。
大方花に群がるミツバチがごとく攻防の魔力に魅せられたのだろうよ。しかし怪異ごときに気取られようとは。いやあ、まっこと嘆かわしいの。それもこれもよりお前の修復が甘いからであって。
説教なら後にしてくれ、じいさん。セイバー、やれるか。
誰に向かって言
I
って
pointed this out before. The way Saber summons the sword but still has it on their waist there, it bugs me a little bit.
さあやるぞ、より手間取るなよ。避けるなよ。
見えた。揺るがぬ血の
いつでも良いぞ、よりすぐに行く。
終わりだ。もらった。水の型で
Ah! Oop. Yes, a big one.
以前の怪異とはまるで違う。
弱いな。
Owie.
いつでも良い。呼べ。
Now I can if I need to, but I kind of want to do this fight legit.
いつでも良いぞ、より。
こっちだ。
行くぞ。
Waterfall! Oops. Busted out of that fast.
弱いな。
ここだ。揺るがぬ血のごとく。セイバー。
My earth style doesn't break now. Keep hitting you even when you're blocking. And that's... I'm not to be led to believe that that's magic at all. That's just Iori hits that hard now in Earth Stance. When using both hands on a katana, can bypass friggin' magical resilience. Valor!
隙を見せたな。畳みかけろ。
また一つ強くなれたか。
Yeah, I like the simplicity of the boss fights. Really is just avoid their attacks and hit them. I think fights can be that simple and still be fun. I don't believe there's really any gimmicky fights in this game.
しかし、この先が思いやられるな。
何がだ？
おや、君は気づかなかったか？連中は終始君を狙っていたんだ。妖物魔物は実に正直だ。君の弱さは見抜かれやすい。この先もなんやかやと狙われるぞ。
何を言うかと思えば、確かに俺の剣はセイバーに劣るだろうとも。
Yeah, I mentioned this before. In New Game, Saber is very condescending towards Iori's sword abilities. The dialogue actually changes in New Game Plus, where you start at the end game level.
だが、奴らは弱者を優先してはいないぞ。現に、
And
他の家には
a game where New Game Plus, the dialogue actually changes because characters recognize how much stronger the player is such an interesting idea.
おや、そこに気づいていたか。その通り。
I do want to show that off eventually. I doubt I'll do it all in a row, but I'll probably do it.
江戸の民には目もくれない。実に自然ならざる行いだった。
となると、連中を率いて操る者がいるか。
マスターやサーバントをおのずと狙う性質を持つ式神のごときものとも考えられるの。
You know what game has cool New Game Plus dialogue? Starfield, surprisingly. Not enough though, and they don't actually do much. That is interesting, Starfield has that. This game has a whole extra ending tied to the fact that Iori is so much stronger in New Game Plus. Genuinely, a whole extra ending that informs way more about Iori as a character.
そうだとすると、
これから先この長屋は幾度となく襲われるじゃろうな。さっきの襲撃を考えても、
Iori is probably my favorite Fate protagonist. Just because of what a weird mentality he actually has when you break it down.
攻防を万全に整えよ。さっきのような半端なやり方は
Is the way people perceive him, even in story, is often wrong. In Starfield, New Game Plus is a diegetic function. You actually have dialogue where you can tell NPCs you know what they're going to do or what's going to happen. It usually doesn't have a lot of impact. Yeah, I do remember like the Starfield plot is like there's timeline jumpers. And so New Game Plus is you doing that yourself.
手を抜いたつもりもないんだが。
お前一人であればそうだろう。なればこそ大地を伝う。
You're saying they don't do a lot with it. That's disappointing.
高尾が言っていたな。この辺りも霊地だと。
Compared to something like Chrono Trigger, which the dialogue doesn't change or anything, but New Game Plus lets you get certain endings way sooner. It's confusing and not well explained. It's multiverse jumping, not timeline jumping. So why do we go back in time to the beginning of the game? No idea. They don't tell you that. That is weird. One sec. Okay.
いかにも浅草は大きな霊地の一つ。
Oh.
うまくやれば莫大
Right,
な
spirit
魔力を
font.
得られよう。
それで攻防を強化するか。道理ではある。だがどうやって？
At New Game Plus in an RPG, it's an opportunity to do cool stuff. And them doing it at all in Starfield is kinda neat. Sounds like a first for a Bethesda game, to be fair. I don't think any of the others have New Game Plus functions at all. Unless, like, some of their really old stuff. But I feel like really old stuff had even less New Game Plus. It's the first, yeah. I guess it makes sense. Because something like Skyrim or Fallout, I guess, like, New Vegas, you could kind of get away with a New Game Plus system. If not for how it's not all that hard to get to max level in New Vegas. One of their big marketing things. First game, we did it. It's really cool, guys. We changed a little bit of dialogue. Now, to be fair, for most of this game, the dialogue isn't that different. But it is an important bit, and you do unlock a whole new ending. Like, it's really just Saber, instead of very condescendingly, you're not good with a sword, will be like, you might be good with a sword, but, like, you still live in an era of peace. You should do something else with your life. Gameplay, it's pretty boring. In this game, at least, they tell you outright if a cutscene has no new dialogue, so you can just skip it. Like, they will tell you ahead of time, hey, there's some new dialogue for this cutscene, you might not want to skip it. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, they try to avoid you getting bogged down by the story you already know. Ah, yes. Said an idiom Saber doesn't understand. Yeah, it's a rule of fate that Saber faces. With just one exception, all have to be gluttons. It is funny, the one exception is the only one who's not a naturally occurring Saber face. Weird bringing up a saying that they translated it to a saying that technically would have been before this, but no way a Japanese person would have heard it. Saber got some eclectic info. Yeah. Money and materials of the workshop to acquire special skills. Will prove useful in many situations, such as during battles and town exploration. Right. Leyline link costs nothing and works. Valued customer. General store and food stall costs down. I can get it, why not get it? Let's see. Silver tongue. Sell stuff for more. Need distended skulls, cloth scraps, and more money. Souls in sync. Affinity gauge fills faster. Eat your heart out. Food restores more health. Master of Arms. Mounting effects can be upgraded and altered. Mask of Rage and cloth scraps. Just mantle stuff and check if I have enough. Probably not. I did get some dried lizards, though. Really don't see myself needing that skill. Well, at the workshop, use fire spells more. That is a good fire spell. Shell gauge depletion would be really nice to get. Get an extra affinity gauge bar. All stats up. Oh yeah. You need to get all these other ones to get this huge boost, so... I should work on that then. That's one of the best skill ups to get, just all stats 20. I don't need this spell, but I should start chucking fire at people when I get the option.
Sa yori, 霊脈に接続するのじゃ。
Here we go.
これは
じいさん、何が起こった？
Old man, what the fuck?
わしを通じ霊脈とつながったのよ。言ったじゃろう、浅草は霊地の一つじゃと。霊地から組み上げた莫大な魔力、仮に霊地力とでも呼ぶことにしようかの。
ふむ、霊知力とな。
Telluric energy.
魔力と区別する必要はあるからな。俺としては
Gotta be specific, so okay. Avoid confusion.
ひとたび霊地に働きかければ、眠っていた霊脈の流れが見えるようになるぞ。浅草のみならず、周辺の小霊地の所在が分かり、掌握できるようになったはずじゃ。小霊地を抑えて霊地力を増やしていけば、先ほどのような怪異謎に苦戦することもない。
確かに霊脈とつながってから魔力の流れを強く感じる。
思えばライダーやランサーも妙に濃い魔力を帯びていたような。
Yeah, their explanation in story for why everyone else was so much stronger than you from the get-go is because they'd already connected to some ley
霊
lines.
脈とのつながり、そして霊知力の確保。
To be fair, if you can collect a lot of magic from the land at once, you're really strong. One of the strongest people in the verse is so powerful for the sole reason that he has access to an infinite amount of magic, so he can just spam whatever spells he feels like whenever he wants to. He can also travel between universes and timelines if he feels like it. He's kind of become the universe's Owatu.
ひとまずこれで良いのでは。
まあ、あとはおいおいか。こたびの強化はここまでとしておこう。
助かったよ。ありがとう、じいさん。夕げにするにはまだ早い。
当然だが戦いは終わっていない。
ああ、この機に刀を手入れしておく。
Ah, yeah, this.
丹念に手入れしよう。
Sword maintenance consumes one each of polishing powder, cleaning paper, and clove oil to maintain Iori's swords. Depending on the results of the maintenance, experience gains will be increased for a number of battles. This X just as the shrinking circle overlaps with the blue area. Yeah, it's, you know. Then there's also high-grade materials. The high-grade materials just make the minigame easier. I guess there's no reason not to use the better one if I have it. Ah, too soon. Better. Wasn't used to the timing yet. Great success. 6 battles, get 10% more XP.
やるな、より悪くない手並みだったぞ。もうそろそろいいだろう。さあ、より解く有限にするぞ。
なんじゃそのはしゃぎようは。
Someone's in high goddamn spirits.
米とお身をつけをな、痛く気に入ったようだ。
そんな なことはなくもないぞ。
I believe there is an explanation for why Saber is so attached to rice.
わかったわかった。
Has to do with the era they grew up in, I think.
さあ、ゆ
Journey of 1,000 miles. Complete! Wow, the 1,000-mile journey's done? Already?
さて、いおり、今日はどうするつもりだ？
まずは水道橋の武家屋敷に向かう。
Okay.
助之進が言っていただろう。唯小説の私塾の門弟が一人奉公していると。
ふむ、門弟から私塾の場所を聞き出すか。悪くはない。悪くはないが。
どうした？
御徒町の一件が引っかかる。あれがもしユイの仕業なのだとすれば、ユイが幕府を通じて連中を動かし、私たちを襲わせたとは考えられないか？
なるほど。
Not impossible, I'll grant.
我が慶願に同目したな、より。では、ことの葉を尽くして褒めるがいい。許すぞ。
Pull yourself, Saber.
セイバー、幕府が何かがわかるのだな。てっきり知らないものと。
いおり、君、さては私をバカにしているな。
A little bit.
幕府など当然知っている。あれだ、当代の朝廷の別名なのだろう。
Saber is from the time of the Imperial
いや、
Court.
違う。惜しいといえば惜
Close,
しい
but
が
no cigar.
違う。幕府とは武家の棟梁である将軍が朝廷から託された祭りごとを執り行うため開いたものだ。
何？はあ、朝廷が祭りごとを。そういうこともあるのか。だが、紅玉に聞いたときは確かに。
じいさん、適当にも程がある
Perhaps
だ
don't
ろう。
just say random shit, you'll confuse them more.
しかし小説と幕府か。それについてはありえぬ話ではない。奴は幕府に身を置くものだ。小説が幕府重臣に義の存在を伝え、幕府を動かしているとしても妙ではない。
そうだろう。
その場合でも無論幕府の一部のはずだ。幕府全てが敵となれば、
We had full control over the entire shogunate. Like, they'd know where you guys are right now. Probably have brought you in by now.
四半時もせずに俺は捕らえられ、切腹なしの打ち首にな
They
る。
could trump up whatever charge they felt like.
そういうものか。
ああ、幕府の一部が小説の配下か。
Might have some sway there, but the whole thing,
あり
nah.
得る話だ。確かにそうだが、いや、
ん？何が引っかかるのだ？
いや、確たる何かはないのだが、己が手を汚さず人を陥れるやり口、いささか奴には似合わない。そう思えるだけだ。
なるほど。それが君の。
Also worth noting, Yui did have that power, probably wouldn't use it anyway.
いや、いい。君が何を考え、どう戦おうと君の勝手だ。だが、あまり私の足を引っ張らないでほしいものだ。
ああ。
それでより、江戸の中で特に幕府の要はどこだ？
On? Almost forgot to do something I need to do for tonight. Plugging in my phone real quick. There it goes.
用地ならば数あるが、そうだな。上のあたりはどうだ？
上の。
江戸にとっての鬼門にあたり、邪や魔を払うべく寛永寺が建てられている。用地、特に
It is funny thinking about that cultural difference. I feel like in any, like, European area, if a place was considered cursed, they wouldn't try to make a church there to fight the curse. Whereas in Japan, if a place seems cursed, they put up temples there specifically to combat it.
確か浅草より少し西の一帯だったな。では、
A different way of
今日はそこに
thinking.
も行こ
I
う。
don't know, fun cultural difference.
待て、話が見えない。
Different ideas about how their gods work also.
出方を見たい。仮に幕府がすでに敵であるならば、用地に出向く我らをむざむざ放ってはおくまい。
上の行きは挑発、あるいは石膏と映るはず。いささか強引な論法だが、筋は通る。
There's a fundamental difference in how they
上の絵も足を向けてみるか。
conceive a curse, I think. I believe so too.
さて、そうと決まれば。
待て、セイバ
ー。なんだ、まだ何かあるのか。
幕府の一部が小説に力を貸していたとして、貴殿は
当たり前だ。
御徒町で言ったはずだ。市政の者をいたずらに殺めるなと。
We can't just murder anyone we feel like. Christian society's a curse is the work of the devil or damned spirits. It's evil. We should stay away from it. Only the power of God can cleanse it. And it is kind of, especially in more modern sects, it's believed a human cannot wield God's power. Whereas here during Edo period Japan, and probably before and at least sometime after as well, a human wielding power blessed by a god and able to bring that god's power somewhere is a completely feasible thing.
それは人の道に反する行いだ。
Shinto culture curses angered gods or vengeful spirits that can and must be appeased before it brings disaster. That too, yeah. It is that fundamental idea of, in Christianity, God doesn't do anything bad, and if God did it, it can't be bad. Whereas in Shinto, there's lots of gods and spirits and crap, and some of them are just assholes, and you gotta play along. Christianity makes us out to be a lot more powerless.
どうにもならん状況はある。
That's a way of putting it, yeah.
その時は咎めない。だが、留意はしてもらいたい。
It's like in a way of trying to humble humanity.
いおりは難しいな。嫌だとここで言えば霊樹を使うのだろう。やれやれだ。
セイバ
ー。わかったわかった。幕府連中に相対しても命は奪わん。
Still beat the shit out of them if they attack you. Don't get it twisted. Just, you know, leave their necks intact.
だから霊樹はもっと前向きに使え。
Now, this is kind of how you have to deal with your servants. Is like, look, I don't want to have to use a command seal to make you stop doing that when it's something we could both benefit from.
なるべくそうするよ。
It's a very interesting system where the thing you can use to make your servant actually listen to you if they're very willful is also the thing you might need to power them the hell up to fight something way stronger.
水道橋の方角よりただならぬ気配がやってくる。
水道橋。
ゆべの怪異と同類か。似た魔力を感じるが。
真っ昼間からもののけか。手早く打ち払わねば町に害が及ぶ。
待て待て、ゆべの奇戦を忘れたか。
Alright, we finally get to do the ley line thing.
おお、霊脈云々があったな。ここで試すか。
はあはあ、君はあれだな。まじないを本文にするのはやめた方がいいな。
かもしれん。霊脈につなぐとしよ
It is interesting Iori's a mage. Because that would be pure coincidence. Because mages are all about bloodlines and the like. Random people can sometimes be mages, but it's very uncommon.
当世の術は面白いな。
そういうものか。さて、あとは周辺の小霊地を抑えて。
敵の気配があるぞ。上のとやらの方角か？
Musashi's not part of a mage bloodline either, but depending on the Musashi, they might not have been a mage at all. Apparently the Musashi of this world had the Crimson Codex before, but they're very tight-lipped about why.
相手がただ人であれ、油断はするでないぞ。霊地の魔力、霊地力を活用せよ。
We move on. Tiles. More of these tiles we have at once, the better our stats get. They're only gonna make me claim it like this one time. All the other times, unless there's a fight beforehand, you just go and then it moves on. Doing that just to show it off.
そうして霊地の力を蓄えるのじゃ。
Telluric energy is contained within spirit fonts. Acquiring telluric energy increases Iori's magic attack. Magic attack increases, the amount of damage dealt to monster servants, and the shell gauges of powerful enemies will also increase. Time limit for spirit font conflicts. Check the top right of the screen for the time limit. You haven't managed to achieve the goal when the current time exceeds the time limit, you lose. Beware the time remaining as you strive for your objective. We fight. Entering the same spirit font as an enemy will initiate a battle. Defeat all the enemies to win, also sees the spirit font if it's unclaimed. Some battles have time limits. Defeating all the enemies within the time limit will increase the rewards. Wipe me. Time limit achieved. And Spirit of Heroism. Victory.
ようやったのより。連中尻尾を巻いて逃げおったわい。
これだけの魔力があるのだ。あの程度の相手に負けるものか。
まあそうだな。セイバーの言う通りだろう。先に進むぞ。
今向かうべきは。
Oh, come on. Whatever.
まだ敵はいるぞ。あれは放っておいて良いのか。
Let me get the big one for stats.
そうじゃな。幸いまだ距離がある。霊地からのつながりを断たれる前に素早く目的を果たせばよいのじゃ。
敵が霊地を抑えるのにもそれなりの時はかかる。
A little.
わかった。
Be able to break theirs before they can break ours. Bueno.
上野か。今までと比べ空気が澄んでいるような。
It's a nice little location.
霊的な用地というのも頷ける。では早速人暴れと行くか。より。
待て待て。 昼日中に騒ぎを起こすのは悪手だ。セイバーがここにいるだけで十分な挑発になる。
You being here at all is enough provocation for this.
ふん。まあサーバントは魔力の塊だからな。では目抜き通りを練り歩くとする。ついてこい、より。
待てセイバー、一人で動くんじゃない。また迷子になりそうだ。見失わないようにせねば。
よりこっちだ。
君、上の絵は寛永寺拝に、わかるよ、あれはいい寺だものな。江戸の民の平穏を願って建てられた天海僧侶には感謝しかないよ。
I can get plus health, but I forgot to use fire in that new thing.
おい、より。どこで遊んでいるんだ？
Sorry, I saw a dried lizard.
この匂いは。あちらに
寛永寺に参拝できへんってどないなっとんねん。こんために遠路はるばる来たんやで。
そいつは残念だったな。観音堂の不審だかで境内には入れないんだ。
勘弁してくれや。
ゆうべね、お寺の門の前で
Big
大
fuck
きな狐さんに会ったんだ。油揚げあげたら美味しそうに食べてくれたよ。
なあ、おいらも見て。
I'm sure that doesn't mean anything we need be concerned about.
セイバー、おいセイバー、目を離すとこれだ。
なあ、嬢ちゃん、こんなとこで寝ちゃ風邪ひくぜ。
そうだそうだ、俺ほっとけねえよ。
まさか。
Ah, damn it, do they think Saber's homeless?
お嬢ちゃん、本当にそこで寝るつもりかい？だったらうちにおいで、止めてあげるから。
いやいや、うちなら美味しい飯もたらふく食わせてやれるぜ。
一体何の騒ぎだ？
銭なしどもの家など彼女にはふさわしくない。さあ、硬い地面などでなく。
Here is a very tiny girl you're all entreating for very questionable motives.
お気持ちは嬉しいけれど、心配なさらないで。私はここで寝て。
Yeah, looking at this character for a quarter of a second, if you're experienced with fate, should tell you who this is. The pink hair, the style of the dress, the fox ears.
家宝？
ほら、家宝は寝て待てと申しますでしょ。けれど私には寝床がありませんから。
そんなに欲しいものがあるってんなら何か見繕ってやるからさ。とにかく
あなた様のお気持ちは嬉しいのですけれど、そうやすやすと手に入るものではありません
Not your mama, no.
いや待ってくれ。さすがに勘違いも甚だしいだろう。
Go on.
家宝は寝て待てとは、寝ていれば幸運が勝手に転がり込んで
I
く
think
る
you're
という意味ではな
misunderstanding
い。
the idiom, miss.
そうでしたの。私の勘違いだ
This is
っ
a
たの
big ass sword.
この女人、人をから
Did
かって遊んでいるの
Amaterasu?
か？
Technically, yes.
それとも
You are
狐に
technically
化かされまし
correct.
たか？
It's one of the Tamamo 9. The 9 severed tails of... The best kind of correct? Yes. The 9 severed tails of Tamamo no Mai, who is herself an incarnation of Amaterasu.
厳しいお侍様、一つお聞きしてもよろしく。
By the way, there is an official short animation of her trying to draw that sword, but she literally can't even reach it. It's so far away from her. So she just spins in a circle and falls out unconscious from going dizzy. Not even beginning to go into the nightmare of pulling it out if you got hold of it.
悪いが、今は連れを待たせているのだが。
寂しいことをおっしゃらないで。大丈夫。すぐに済みますから。私ね、この町で、いいえ、この世で一等美しいものを探していますの。
Even though they were set up like a decade ago at this point, is only the third of the Tamamo 9 we've seen. There's the main one, Tamamo no Mai. Then there's Tamamo Cat, who's a gag character. I'm gonna level with you. And then there's this one.
一等美しいもの？
いおり、何をグズグズしている？珍しいものでもあったのか？
Kinda.
この気配はおそらく。おい、いおり、その目は節穴か？
セイバー？
マスターならすぐに気づけ。そこのもの、さ。
何事だ？
みんな逃げろ！お侍様が化け物を引き連れてきやがった！
Ah, that's probably not good.
ああ、化け物だって？
何バカなこと言ってやがる。あいつ酒の飲みすぎでおかしくなっちまったか。
おそらく敵だ。予想が当たったと見える。そこのものは襲ってこないならまあいい。行くぞ、いおり。
セイバー！貴殿はここを動くな。すぐにこちらで片付ける。
あ、待ってくださいまし。私も。
うまく誘い込めたな。しかし連中のうつろな様は、
以前とまるで同じだ。つまりはこれもユイ
Saber, you're the only one applying that context.
術を用いて再び襲い来るとは。ユイと幕府、よほど我らが目に触るようだな。行くぞ、より。奴らに目に物見せてやろう。やっ、
終わりだ。味わうといい。セイバー、
すぐに行く。
これはどうだ。
There we go. Good chunk of Magecraft experience. Whoa.
運が良かったな、より。
All skill.
鋭き水の流れのごとく。
そう無双が。
Amber Glow. Let's get a little health back.
血の型、奥の手。これはどうだ。終わりだ。スキル。
油断したな。
水の型でいく。
Okay, he's gonna get back up. Yup, yup. Love the animations for the attacks here. I also love that Musashi and Iori, like I said, you can play as most of the servants. They actually share a lot of animations because they are using the same school of fighting.
ようやく捕まえましたわ。素敵なお侍様。なんとお呼びしたら。
This is kind of normal Tamamo behavior, if you're curious.
宮本伊織だ。いや、そうではなく。
I'm Miyamoto Iori. That is not what I meant to say.
ここは危うい。離れていろ。
She's so non-bothered.
伊織様。伊織様。伊織様。ちゃんと思いましたわ。私はライダー。上野に紐付けられたはぐれでございます。けれどライダーなんてつまらない名前ではなくて。
Yeah, the game doesn't try to hide who she is that much either.
何をのんびり話している、伊織。
ああ、せっかくの王政を阻むだなんて、なんてひどい方々なのでしょう。ねえ、伊織様。ここは
You play as almost all the servants in this game. Rogue Rider here is actually the only one you don't play as, but I kind of like her more because of it. Instead, she just gives Iori a huge stat boost.
お帰りいただきましょう。
なるほど。助力感謝する。
Which usually something reserved for casters, but riders sometimes just do that anyway. There's some riders who just fight like casters for some reason. I mean, there's also a handful of casters who fight like sabers. It's like, yes, I will use all of my magic to hit really hard.
連中を操っていた相手は分からずじまいと。
残滓を消していく程度には手だれの術者であるとは分かったが、幕府や優位に関わりがあるかは分からない。歯がゆいな。
挑発の策は失敗か。どうあれ今は深追いはやめておこう。それから貴殿が手を貸してくれるとはな。感謝する、ライダー。
そんなの必要ありませんわ。それにライダーとなんてつまらない呼び方はなさらないで。いや、私のことはたまもありやと。いいえ、アリア
Tamamo
呼んで
Aria.
くださいませ。
Of the 9 severed tails of the 9-tailed demon fox woman, Tamamo no Mai, who is herself a semi-descended aspect of the sun god Amaterasu. Rogue Rider, Tamamo Aria. So she is part of a very major god. Kind of. By the way, the reason the tails were severed is even stupider than you're probably thinking. You see, Tamamo no Mai wanted to lose weight. That is the end of the story. She cut off her tails. And then they all became sentient.
随分と気に入られているようだな。
Ah, small child is interested in you sexually.
どうした？戦いの最中、魅了の種でもか
This
けたの
fucking
か？
face for Zaber. Just,
罪な男じゃのう。ま、彼女の好みには物申したいところじゃが。
二人とも。
私ね、美しいものが大好きなの。キラキラした宝石
I
も。
will say, of the 3 Tamamo we know of, this one probably causes the least trouble on a regular basis. The main one, kind of... she's just got trouble built into her name. Cat is trouble only because she's an idiot. This one, as close as she comes to trouble, is people trying to make her happy, and she's very flighty with her desires.
夕暮れの海も愛し合う人たちも今日のお空も
But definitely the least chaotic of the ones we know.
私のものにしてしまいたい
Not even counting the arms dealer pretending to be Tamamo, who's actually the personification of the Tunguska airburst. Technically, the personification of all the animals that died in it, and they were dumbass animals who didn't know humanity had literally nothing to do with that. Fate does weird shit sometimes. Yeah, the concept of a meteor exploding in the middle of a forest decided to imitate a descended sun god because it was funny. And also to try to become an evil of humanity. That's even more shit to explain.
私は欲しくなりました。いおり様のことが。
ああ、すまないが、貴殿が何を言っているのかさっぱりわからん。美しいというなら、セイバーの剣の技だ。俺ではないよ。それに、俺に女人と寄り添う解消はない。士官もままならん未熟の身だ。
そうですの。残念ですけれど、無理強いはいけませんわね。
I think we're back. That is the third day in a row that's happened. Where I've just been kind of DC'd for a little over 15 seconds. It's on the Twitch side is the thing. I'm looking at it. I know it's not on my side. Like, it seems like Twitch is what's having the connection issue. It's the third day in a row that's happened. It started on Wednesday, it happened yesterday, and it's happening today too. I want to know why this is happening, but I can't know, because I'm... But the delay got longer. That sucks. We back? Yeah, we back.
友人？それくらいなら構わないかな。
I don't know what keeps doing that. I'm absolutely positive it's not my internet this time, because I'm looking and I'm not losing connection anywhere. Like, I don't know if it's OBS or Twitch that's fucking up, but I know it's not my internet. Because I can see... Because here's the thing, I don't actually have any dropped frames after doing that. I feel like Twitch has just been icky. I feel like it has to be Twitch. Because, like, even OBS is saying I didn't drop any frames.
引っかかることがなくもないが。
I feel like I'm enabling something stupid to happen later, but...
はぐれの英霊と遊戯を結べるのは、まあ。
He also has arguably the most useful, rogue servant ability of just... She buffs Iori to hell, so... She honestly is my favorite of the servants to use. Because I kind of like playing as Iori the most. He is the most mechanically deep character, even though he's also not as strong as all the other ones. He's the only... Reloaded because crazy delay? Oh, I buy it.
これから二人でもっといいことをして、もっと仲良くなりましょうね、いおり様。
Talking about how Tamamo Aria is actually my favorite servant to use, even though you can't play as her. Hey, Bathwater.
なんとも艶のある話だ。カヤが聞いたらどんな顔をするだろうな。
Yeah. He'd probably call him a philanderer. Oh, there's like a 20-second delay? Yeah, no, that's on my end too now. Because the thing is, OBS... Like, OBS is telling me it is a 21-second delay. I usually set it to 3 seconds. I'd have to restart stream to fix that, which I actually can do, yeah. Give me 1 minute, I'll restart stream to fix the delay. Alright, alright. Give everyone a second to get back in. Good be back now.
いずれ頼りにすることもあるかもしれない。その時は力を貸してほしい。
Yeah, delay should be cut back down. What sucks is it happens so deep in, too.
もう、日和様ったら、アリアですわ。次はちゃんと、そう呼んで
More
く
normal?
ださいましね。
Yeah, I have it set to just a 3-second delay. That slight delay actually helps with my CPU usage a lot. Why are her eyes so far apart, by the way? I don't know, but it's actually a common joke in the community that she looks stoned as hell. Did Boichi draw Arya? I'm pretty sure... Damn it. It wasn't Boichi, but it is a very common Fate artist. Like, they've done a lot of the stuff. Who did Samurai Remnant? It was Wataru, yeah. Wataru does a lot of the... Actually, a lot of the most popular characters Wataru did.
運があるな、より。ユイの手がかりは得られなかったが、はぐれの友を得られたのは喜ぶべきだぞ。まったく、大した運だ。
Well, for being born in the wrong era, all that luck's gotta go somewhere.
そうだな。そういうことにしておこう。次は水道橋の武家屋敷に行くか。
Hey, 55 extra magic attack for a while.
これまでとは比べ物にならない魔力。
上野も浅草や吉原と同じく
Yeah, the big ones you get a ton.
霊地であるからな。この力があれば小霊地の掌握などたやすく進むであろう。
Using spirit fonts of key locations and certain other places will greatly strengthen Niori's stats with a telluric energy flowing within. Also extends the time.
残るは水道橋だが、その前に
霊地の魔力はたっぷりだぞ。あんなものはたやすく撃てる。
まあ待て、あれを見よ。いや、
魔力の流れ、水道橋までつながっているな。
その通り。
Yeah, so if you cut off the enemy's thing,
流れを立てば消え
you just get to skip fights.
そうありえの。
水道橋と怪異どもの間。
Your turn actually happens right before theirs does, so.
消えた。やるな、おじいさん。
わしの思った通りじゃ。奴らは霊地の魔力を吸って姿を保っておる。魔力のつながりさえ立てば力は弱まり分散無償するというものよ。
霊地を奪われ力を失う。それはもしや俺たちにも起こりうることだ。
Yeah, that's a concern.
しかり小霊地のつながりを断たれれば魔力を失い弱体化する。
高尾が言っていたな。霊地の争奪戦と。
ああ、敵の動きに目を配らねばな。
何かあるな。は なんとはなしによってみた
just
が
snack break.
この店はうまいな。
いつの間に
When the hell did you...
食い気が盛んだな。
Damn, you eat a lot. Lidobashi.
あれが九段の武家屋敷か。さて、小説の門下生はどこだ。
見ろより、あちらに人だかりがある。
Throng.
さては出
A
店か。
throng of people. That's what we're gonna call that.
どうかな。まあ、様子を見に行くか。
Empowered by the telluric energy. Now there's dialogue over here. By which I mean it's that ninja again. You weren't even in the pen, dude. We found out so easily. Suppose a cow does more than chew grass. My eyes cannot be deceived. At this point, it's a game. The dog. Pet the dog. You'll love her. One more and I can't get it yet, but I'll have that unlocked and I want to start unlocking that stuff. Get some extra tech. Going on.
御家人様と道でぶつかっちまってさ、あわや切り捨てごめんと。御家人様、ふらふらどこか行っちまった。城勤めってのは大変なんだな。
この人だかり何なのさ。喧嘩でもやってんのかい。
なんで揉め事かい。くさ、よく見えねえな。
一体何だっていうのかしら。物騒なことじゃないといいけれど。
おいあんた、聞いたか？ここで起きた人情沙汰。なんでも御家人や家臣の死体が道にいくつも転がってたんだと。
Bodies of guards.
何かあったか？
近頃人情沙汰があったみたいでね。お改めとかで通るべからずだってさ。
参ったな。この先に用があるのだが。
そりゃ災難だね。明日あたり出直しちゃどうだい。
どうしたものか。引き返すか。
義が関わっているやもしれん。
Yeah, I mean, a bunch of people just dropped down in the street. Seems like something to check on, just to be sure. I'm still running my food stand. I don't care how many people die.
染み渡るな。
Of the grated yam.
またいつでも来とくれ。
背に腹は変えられん。ここを通るぞ。
忍び働き再びだな。
Stealthy shinobi.
切ろう。
揺るがぬ血のごとく決める。終わりだ。味わうといい。
None of that. None of that. None of that. None of any of those things you're trying to do. Die, all of you. Yeah, now this is open. Firebird's actually pretty good for getting kills with. I'm gonna... Actually... Oh yeah, I got a couple. I should use these.
いい調子だ。
There we go. I save up to get this once I level up the workshop again, and then I can get all stats up. It actually doesn't cost skill points, it's just get all of these and you can pick it up. That'd be really good bonus for me. Wait, you're gonna get caught, stupid. It's an hour before he's supposed to eat, so my cat's decided it's time to eat. You know how he is. Gil Jewel?
小道を通るのがうまいな、いおり。剣士よりも忍びが向いている。
そうかもな。
Hit it again, I'll take it from you.
なあ、いおり。屋根の上を行け。
Alright. Oh, my cat, he hits his bowl again. I'm taking it from him. He hit it again, so I took it from him. You feel deflated? What's wrong, Bathwater? Can't just go walking on rooftops in broad daylight. Sounded like fun to me. It probably would be, but also we'd be gunned down in the street. Things? Yeah, things. Play as a servant to ignore that first phase of the fight that's so cool to do, actually. Oh, I love that unnatural turnaround it has, where its head turns around and then its body follows it. Flawless victory. I didn't get hit once. Cool. Ask me later. Ogre, I hardly know her. Might be a couple of Oni out and about in this game. Not too many, but a few. Oni-chan? Not that kind of Oni. You're stuck? Are you now, Bathwater? Are you stuck in the washing machine by any chance?
裏から勘抜きがかかっている。別。
何をほうけている？特中に入るぞ。
この門は内から施錠されている。
Iori, did you forget that?
なんだ、そうか。では開けてこよう。
Yeah, I think Iori forgot Saber can do this. Technically, any servant can do this. This is not something they contend with often in these games. I feel like this is the first one where they've just gone through a wall. He's stuck in a slump? Nah.
まあ人目につかなければな。
In perfect sync. Because no one saw you do that just now, it's probably fine.
Yoshi, yoshi.
うい集め。
Yilla. Another fight.
そこをどけ。
奴らの様子いささか。いや考えるのは切り抜けた後だ。
やっ
Firebird.
油断したな。あ、こっちだ。待っていろ。見切れまい。
Overwhelming technique. Get techniqued, idiots.
これはどうだ。
Fire.
受けてみろ。
Alright, now I need to be wiping people out without using my gems for a minute, because I used too many.
鋭き水の流れのごとく。
弱いな。
No more of that.
うせろ。
Strike like the crashing waves. Ooh, he got back up. How fun. Or were you planning to do something? Saber hit you once. Aha! Nice try. Also you, nice try. Yeah!
踊らせおって。行くぞ。屋敷はすぐそこだ。ここが九段の武家屋敷か。
そのはずだ。ようやく着いたな。
襲ってきた連中は
皆御家人、幕府帰化の侍たちだ。
幕府のものか。ならばこやつらも結の。
おい。
What's up?
貴殿は
あんたらだよな、御家人連中を乗したのは。いやー助かった。奴ら力ずくで屋敷に踏み入ろうとしてたからよ。
Force their way inside.
待て、連中この屋敷のものを狙っていたのか。
あんたら知らねえのか。ここの主が辻斬りと疑われちまって。
辻斬り？
貴殿、すまないがその話
Ujigiri. Blade testing.
屋敷の外がやけに騒がしいからなんだと思って出てみたらよ。
Yeah, this guy.
旗本とその家人やらが10人近く道の底かしこにやられて転がってたんだ。一部始終を覗き見てた
A character we'd heard about prior.
主任はなんだか古めかしい鎧武者だって話さ。
Ancient looking armor is interesting to say.
古めかしい鎧武者。ライダーか。
やれ怨霊の仕業だ。やれ落ち武者のたたりだって。もう大騒ぎよ。で結局どこかの辻斬りの仕業ってことでこの話はおしまいになった。
Yeah, Sujigiri or blade testing was the act of just cutting down random people in the street to see if your sword worked. Crazy illegal. And, actually also the name in Japanese of the Pokemon move, Night Slash.
何を思ったがお上と来たら、この屋敷の主が下手人だと決めつけちまった。10人の侍を一度に相手取れるようなやつは、この屋敷には一人もいねえって。
Also, Tsujigiri against 10 people at once? That's clearly a cover-up. No way in hell someone could test that many armed people at once, and you could call it that.
何を言おうとお上は聞く耳持たずよ。
You'll slash me at night? What is slash in this context? Right? Gay shipping fanfic about? In which case, I guess you can do what you want.
で、とうとう、目付配下の御家人連中が主をひっ捕らいに来て。
No murder? Oh.
俺たちがこれを退けた。
Well, I'd rather you not, but you can try. Just make sure it's a good blade first. You might want to test it on some random civilians.
俺は一応剣の腕を買われた身だからよ。こりゃどうなることかと肝を冷やしたが、あんたらのおかげで助かった。この屋敷を追い出されずに済みそうだぜ。また浪人に逆戻りなんぞしちまった日には、小説先生に面目が立たねえからよ。
小説先生？
ふむ。では、君は唯小説の門弟か？
おお、そうだが。なんだ？あんたら小説先生に用があんのか？
より。
ああ、実はかねてより小説殿の講ずる
I mean, if you're gonna tell a lie, make it a believable one.
いつか小説殿の私塾にて直にご指導を賜りたいと思っていた。しかし今に至るまで肝心の塾の場所が分からずじまいでな。
Basically give the reason anyone would be looking for Yui Shosetsu. I don't want to study at the academy, but I don't actually know where it is.
いかにしてお目通り願ったものかと頭を抱えていたのだが。
なんだ、それなら話は早いや。
And this guy who has genuinely no reason to doubt you, or that you intend anything untoward involving this person he respects, because you just saved his ass.
小説先生の塾は上皇堂つってな、神田にあるんだ。登場してねえ日はほぼ確実にいるはずさ。
A lot of rain.
そうか。すまない。
Does it rain a lot in Japan? I'm actually not sure. Rains a lot where I live.
こっちは首の皮つないでもらってんだ。この程度恩返しにもなりゃしねえさ。
かたじけない。では我らはこれにて。
お、こっちこそありがとうな。
Always raining in England? I do know that.
神田の長考堂か。巷で人気の軍学塾があるとは噂に聞いたが、まさか。
Japan's actually got a pretty decent range of weather, of climates to it, from my knowledge. Because, like, Okinawa and Hokkaido are basically polar opposites.
なんだ、長考堂までは知っていたのか。それならもっとすぐ気づけ。
いや、まさか幼稚の下手人がかの高名な塾の主とは思わないだろう。
I expect some random asshole who tried to murder me in my house to be the head of a famous academy.
言い訳。
しかし、とんだ回り道をさせられたな。神田はここからすぐだが。
さあ行くぞ、より。いよいよユイに一泡吹かせてやろう。
いや、一度長屋へ戻る。万全を期しておきたい。いささか気力性を費やしすぎ。
Trying too hard today.
セイバーには魔力不足と言うべきか。悪いが、俺がこうではそちらも万全では戦えまい。
サーバントだからな。まったく。
戦働きにおいては休息を惜しむべからずだ。
まあな。 せいてはことを仕損じるとも言う。
The
弱い
waste
よりのた
maker.
めに一旦戻るとするか。仕方ない。
待つのじゃいおり。浅草に戻る前にやるべきことがある。
なんだ。
繋いだリーチだ。そのまま放っておけば。
Yeah, I mean, the way this is set up, they just know where we are.
本拠へ戻る際は霊脈への接続を断ち、一旦小霊地を眠らせておくと良いぞ。
なるほど。道理だな。
Now for the good part of this. Each one of those you collected before you got to there, you actually get a permanent stat up for each one. Which is nice, it goes to the stat Iori naturally has the lowest of. But that will never go away.
また一つ強くなれたか。
So, for this tutorial one, that's about as well as you're allowed to do, because they don't let you step off course for it. Very much. But for later ones, you can get some crazy magic attack stat ups, if you're careful. After closing off the connection, the acquired Telluric energy can be exchanged for materials, increase Aori's mat, and grant other benefits.
攻防を強化できる。さて、浅草は変わりないな。ひとまず。
で、どうだったんだい？新しくできた店は。
あそこはな、なんというか。
The new store.
確かに品揃えはなかなかなもんだったが。
It had one returning character in Musashi, but it's not Fate without these two, to be honest. This one and one other one, I should say. There's two characters who always gotta show up for Fate stuff in one way or another. If you're even slightly familiar with Fate, you can probably guess at least one of them.
聞いたな？聞いたので行ってみよう、イオリ。
セイバ
ー。なんだ、君は気にならないのか？私は大いに気になった。
まあ、気にならないわけではないが。
ならば特見に行こう。何か掘り出し物があるかもしれんぞ。
止めても無駄だな。仕方ない。問屋街に行くか。
Digression. To be shrewd or regal? Be able to get that one probably pretty soon. We do have enough skill jewels for it. I can get this and not actually be worried about being able to afford that later. So I get the health upgrade. I'm now at over 1,000. Good, good. If you've ever seen a Fate anything, you should know who we're coming up on now. He's in almost all of them. And this time especially, he's in because he said he is.
すごい店ができたもんだ。これは流行るね。間違いなく。
Probably the strongest he's ever spawned as.
あんたの腕。お見事、かたじけな驚いたぜ。じゃあまた。
Yeah.
ここが九段の。
問屋街にあるからには何がしかの問屋か。しかしまた噂にたがわぬ派手な店構えだ。はひ、なんだ。What
the hell does that mean? Babylonia?
それに確かここは空き地だったはずだ。
How the hell did he build this overnight? Actually, not even overnight. It wasn't here this morning.
やはりな。これぐらいは感じ取ってみせよ。
A lot of magical
愉快
energy.
なほど並ならぬ魔力だぞ。よりそこらの怪異の類とは桁が違う。それにこの
ならばセイバー。
ああ、サーバントだ。それもとびきりの英霊に違いあるまい。
Exceptional is definitely the correct word.
江戸に店を構えるときたか。
One of the most
よ
powerful,
ほど腕に
in
覚えがあ
fact.
るのか。
And depending how you count the single oldest heroic spirit, depending how you count.
揺るぎない自負と自覚の表れだ。難敵も難敵、心せよ。では、いざ。
Because there's a few heroic spirits who are like incarnations of much older concepts. This is the oldest one by his own name, I believe.
頼もう。
待てセイバー。
We're in a different outfit, but
ほう、なんだ。随分とみすぼらしい客ではないか。だがここが我が城、バビロニアとして踏み入った貴様らの愚かさを
Babylonia.
あえて称えよう。
Yeah. The king of Babylon.
喜ぶがいい。貴様らには我が宝物の一端の一端のそのまた一端を拝む権利をくれてやろう。
Yep. The first hero, Gilgamesh.
言動の突飛さとは裏腹に、なんという剣気。いや、これはなんだ。
It's easier to count the fate properties he doesn't appear in.
一目でわかるほどの凄まじき。
And, let me think.
で及ばぬがごとき。
He's in Zero, he's in Stay Night. He's in friggin'... Of course he's in Grand Order. He's in this, he's in Extra, Estella. He's in Prisma Ilia, the magical girl one. Though he's mostly limited to his child form in that one. He's in... Let me think. He's in flashbacks in the El Meloe case files, but he doesn't appear personally, but that's... different. He's in Strange Fake. Yeah, he's in basically everything, because he's one of their most iconic creations.
剣の腕は測れない。だが、ただものでないことだけはわかる。
何？欲しいというならば譲ってやらなくもない。ま、雑種どもに手の届く品かは知らぬがな。さあ、俺の寛大さにひれ伏し拝せよ。いや、ひれ伏したら見えぬか。
まずは無礼を詫びる。聞いてほしい。俺たちは
貴様、よほど立派な英霊と見たぞ。クラスは何だ？マスターはどこにいる？
Oh.
まったく。この俺を質問攻めと。
Luckily, this is him when he's in a good mood.
だが、俺は今一仕事終えたばかりで気分が良い。故に答えて
This is not his slightly corrupted self from Stay Night. This is him as he usually is. And I think this is supposed to be him as a king, but still calling his younger power. This is him at the strongest he's possibly ever been, just because of what class he was summoned as. I am the owner of an insignificant textile wholesale store.
Huh?
That's bullshit.
ちりめんどん。
Over on the table.
なぜとぼける？
I'm going to look around this store and look at all the references, I promise you.
は、当然であろう。俺は史上にして唯一の王ゆえな。
ちりめん問屋ではないのだな。
これ以上はぐらかすのであれば剣を持って問うのみだ。さあ。
ほほう、貴様の剣。
セイバ
おーい若旦那。
永吉に見よか。どうした？
聞いたぞ。できたんだろ新作。早く見せてくれよ。
私も見たいな。
ふん、そうせがまずとも見せてやる。刮目せよ雑種ども。これが我が入魂の一作よ。
Yeah, this is basically Gilgamesh on vacation. He's not actually that bothered by anything.
今回のもすげ
Yeah, he made candy of himself because he's pretty self-centered, actually.
若旦那そっくり。
そうであろうそうであろう。穴が開くまで眺めてよいぞ。そしてあくまで賛美せよ。見る者皆がひれ伏し拝んだ我が至高の肉体美。見よ、一点の気泡もなく澄み渡りし我が眼見よ、彫像がごとき我が腹部の陰影を。もはや当世の飴売りなど相手にならぬ。なあ永吉、見よ。
Yeah, he spends his free time impressing children because it amuses him.
うまかったぞ若旦那。もう一本ないのか。
人の話を聞け永吉。さすがの若旦那にも堪忍袋の尾はあるのだぞ。
はーい。
ん？
この石綺麗だな。いいな。
Bringing attention to them. Those are Saint Quartz fragments. That's the gotcha material from Grand Order. He just has some.
ありがとう若旦那。それでお題。
侮るな。幼子から絞り取らねばならぬほど我が宝物庫は財に
You can't help but like this aspect of him. Who do you think I am? I am rich as shit. You think I'm gonna charge children?
お前たちはただひたすらに飴を賞味し
I do this for me. You think I want money when I make candy? I want people to be impressed by me. I don't care about everything else almost. It's such a weird ideology he's brought this time. But it makes him really funny. Where he's the enjoyable kind of narcissist.
貴様は感謝というものを覚えよ永吉。なんだ貴様らまだいた。
You didn't fuck off?
俺はマスターを持たぬはぐれのサーバント、義の裁定者ルーラーとして当世に。
Yes, he's been summoned as a ruler.
望む情報ならばくれてやったぞ。買う気がないならさっさと店を出て行
Ruler
け。
is basically the best class. Because it summons you with none of the limitations any of the other classes usually have. With maxed out stats. And probably all the power he ever held. Including parts of his power he usually had to give up other stuff to obtain. So he's got his caster mentality when he was the king, and pretty level-headed, but he's got all of his archer abilities from when he was able to go one-on-one with a literal divine weapon.
これではぐれだと。
なんだかそんな気がしていたが、貴様、まともに英月の義を戦う気がないな。
俺を貴様ら並の英霊どもと同列に語るな。
Yeah, if it were a real Holy Grail, he might take it just because he wants it, but a knockoff?
だが義に身を投じた者どもが何を望みいかにあがくか。
By the way, Gilgamesh actually isn't supposed to qualify for the ruler class. He does anyway because he says so. And the kind of rules that determine what class you are lost to him, so he is one. Typically, rulers are supposed to be fully impartial individuals, usually saints at that. Like, Joan of Arc is propped up as one of the better rulers, because she's a completely impartial saint. But then there's some other ones, like Sherlock Holmes is a ruler, but that's actually a way to limit him. Like I mentioned last time, magic in this world functions based off the concept that people don't understand how it works. If more than one or two people know how something works, it loses a lot of its power. Which is why the strongest magics in existence can literally only be known by one person or no one at all. So, as a ruler, there's certain mental limits, rules you have to abide by to remain impartial. So, the summoning system literally forces Holmes to be that, because his ability, Elementary, my dear, makes it so any mystery he tries to solve, clues simply come into existence that will allow him to solve it. Which means Holmes could accidentally destroy the entire planet if he looks for rules, if he tries to solve mysteries that are too important. So he's always brought out as a ruler to make sure he can't do that.
出るぞ、より。
ああ、俺たちは命拾いをした。そんな風に感じるのは。
Yeah,
気のせいか。
Gilgamesh as a ruler is not someone to fuck with.
英月を求めん以上は敵ではない。
As in Archer, he's
ただものではない。
damn near top tier.
一体。
As a ruler, he's
いかな英霊か。
almost unstoppable. I can count on one hand the servants that could fight him as a ruler.
見目からして日の本のものではなさそうだが。
Like, I don't even think some of the people he considers equals could face him when he's like this. This is the only point where he's actually stronger than when he was alive. Uh-oh. You're actually estimating my ability. You don't feel so good? You should probably lay down then, Bathwater. I think part of the reason he's so amenable is because he's been summoned as a ruler.
The
stream? It'll be over soon. I'm only gonna finish this cutscene and then call it, because I do have something to do tonight. Don't worry, I'm like 10 minutes out, even for normal. Insurance actually got us a hotel room that I can shower in, and I want to do that tonight. And because I'm gonna be showering there, I'm probably gonna sleep there too. You Judas, how dare you?
Yoもや、こんな近くにサーバントが今日構えているとは。
意外とそういうものかもだぞ。君、手に持っているそれは何だ？
Small child, what do you have there?
いいでしょう。お隣の永吉にもらったの。
そうか、隣の。
どうしたセバ？
まじないを使うのであればわかるだろう。
Yep.
あれからは。
Paint quartz is apparently just crystallized magic. It's why in Grand Order you use it to summon servants. That's actually just a fragment of the thing. 7 of those things together.
義に紐づいて暴れる怪異どもにとって、ああいうのは格好の餌だ。
Yeah, kids stole a whole ass Saint Quartz. So, anything that wants magic is gonna be chasing him now.
まずいな。すまない。その石なんだが、譲っ。
なんで？やだ。
それは、もののけを引きつけるんだ。
That sounds like a lie, but I know it isn't.
だから、そのまま持っていると、もののけどもに襲われてしまう。
そのまま言うのか。
お化け？
そうだ。
嘘。でも。
嘘じゃない。どうか、俺に預けてほしい。
Yeah, we can't have kids handling, make monsters wanna kill you rocks. You wonder if, the Master of the Grand Order has such shit luck because he carries hundreds, possibly thousands of these things around all the time. Like, the pity system in Grand Order sucks. You gotta save when you can. I've been saving for a while for servant that's coming out soon. You cannot guarantee a damn thing in there. They only just added pity, and it's really bad. But I love the game, and I've been playing it for years, so... I'm gonna look in Babylonia real quick, and then we're gonna call it, because I want to look at some of the references in here. Over here, the tablets, that little blue thing, those wings, those are all actually part of Gilgamesh's caster outfit. He's summoned as a caster, he wears those. That blue thing's like a headband. Where's those feathers on his arms? The golden tablet there is like his casting book, and he has those golden gauntlets. And those are cuneiform tablets I think he writes on. There's more stuff in the back. The little red cage is actually, Zhuge Liang's unreturning formation. One of the protagonists is fused with a Chinese tactician spirit. So he's that. That white mask in the back, the one that's a skull in the middle, that is the Hassan mask. The Hassan are the originators of the word assassin. So in some of the default summoning rules, they're the only servants that can be summoned as assassins. Just by nature of being the origin of the word itself. And that chain is one of Enkidu's chains. Enkidu, of course, being the divine constructed weapon that fought Gilgamesh to a near draw in a wrestling match. And the one person Gilgamesh considers a friend in the entire world.
Yori, あれはなんだ？この街も賑やかだな。お、あれを買おう、より。
待て待て、あれはさすがに大きすぎる。いずれまただ、セイバー。
I just did that real quick. Yes, now I believe we're going to save. We are still actually... No, we're in chapter 1 by now. Good, good. To be shrewd or regal. This is a decently long game. Like, yeah, it's just about 40 hours long. But that's actually without all the DLC. I haven't played any of the DLC yet. Save, huh? Yeah, save the game. Because we're gonna call it here. I'm sorry. Hey, save me? I don't know if I can. But I'm gonna stop the recording for YouTube here. As always, thank you so much for coming if you came. If you didn't come, you don't get a thank you. Bye-bye, YouTube.